Good evening and welcome to Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Tonight, we're here with the BRB ButtKicker Cup Series as they take on the legendary Bristol Motor Speedway for tonight's P.A.L Sudden Service 250. Here is we're going to take on the last great Coliseum. We'll talk more about P.A.L's sudden service and or P.A.L's and their sudden service as we get farther into tonight's race. But we've got 250 laps of elbow up, bumper to bumper, short track racing action. And I'll tell you what, this track here, notorious for its intense battles, heavy traffic, and no margin of error. It's going to be a fight for every corner and a war every single lap. So it's going to be a wild one as you join us here tonight. My name is Zach Hall, and tonight I'll be joined by Freaky Fast Broadcasting's owner and producer, Robert Moyer Jr. And first off, before we say what's up to Robert, I just want to give him a huge shout out as he steps away from competition on the racetrack to help bring these broadcasts over the next few weeks to all the BRB fans. So thank you to Robert, and welcome here, Robert. We're going to be bringing everybody the action tonight at Bristol.
That is right. Welcome, everybody, as we are here, like you said, Zach, at Bristol Motor Speedway here for 250 laps. It's going to be an interesting race to see how these guys handle it, as we just watched Southern just die going into the corner there. But anyways, yeah, Zach, it's going to be very interesting to see what these guys can do. If you have followed the league or have followed iRacing in general, we had a huge update last week with these next-gen cars, new tire models, new physics models, just a whole bunch of different things, refreshment of a couple tracks we got out there now. But tonight is going to be about learning what this car can do. How far can you push it? And see what these tires do if you burn them off very fast, or if they, last as long as you need them to there, Zach. But you might have a little bit more information on these because you have done one race with these tires at Watkins Glen. Now, we know it's not Bristol, but it is concrete, so I don't know how that's going to play a factor, too.
It was very, very interesting how these new tires and everything's going to play out the update because, a lot of us were expecting the new update to come with the new tires, but not only with those new tires we got a complete overhaul of pretty much this car. Not only the brake package got completely updated, but also the aero of this car, which is a huge, in my opinion, change where it seems like the air is going to be a much more important factor about finding those lanes, finding the grip on the racetrack, and finding a spot maybe to be faster than your competitor that's not right behind them. So it's going to be, I think, a fun battle tonight here to see how well these drivers can attack this racetrack, because I really feel like this update has brought in some new ability for different driving styles to really come into the factor. So I think if we get some green flag laps, you're going to see a fantastic race on hand tonight. So these guys are rared up and ready to go because, Robert, another thing I know as you were racing in the competition here, it's been a little bit since they've raced because, we look back to the last time they raced, it was at COTA almost 2 weeks ago because they had an all-star race last week. So, I think that right now everybody is ready to get back into that action and kind of get their season the right way going because this is that sixth race of the season.
Well, that's it. It's the sixth race of the season, and we will bring up points throughout the race here tonight. We'll try to get that, even though we got 8 minutes to go here. Maybe we can pull up these points real quick and see, Zach, how where we're looking at these point standings now. It's going to be very interesting to see Justin Stallings. He's up here leading over Ronnie right now. That's a tight battle, and then you look all the way down through. Now, the cutoff line is not correct. That should be over by the 12th with Nicholas Renner there is where the cutoff line is. I'll have that updated next week. But you can look at the points right here. We got, a lot of these drivers right on top of each other. And like you said, Zach, coming into tonight's race, this is race number 6 of the season. And these guys on the outside looking in the playoffs, like an Adam Buzzio, Sam Dyer, Carl Pooler, you got Matthew Shelby, you got Brendan Maddox there, you got Hughes, Stephen Borbell. I mean, you've got some big names here that have won here in this league and still have not got a win yet or even got themselves up, to the, top 12 in 10 points. So that's going to be a big factor here too, because stage racing is one of them big things here, as you can see under the line there of bonuses, like Dustin Stallings, he's got 43 stage points so far this season. You got Southern is at 40, and you got Johnny Wood Jr., part-time driver, though. He's up in 5th. He's got 44 stage points. So you can really see where stage points do come in a factor, too, here, Zach.
Yeah, no, stage points are huge here, especially when you have multiple of them. So it's going to be a thing where drivers are going to have to find a way to get that track position early, because track position will be critical here, of course, at Bristol, but points that come along with it will be even more critical as you see those points. So, like you said, some big names that are below that cut line farther down in 12th. So I think you're going to see here, especially as you're getting farther into that regular season, the sense of urgency is going to increase from a few of those drivers, and they're going to know that it is do or die time. You cannot be waiting to, wait for that last week to get that win that, could pull you into there. So it's one of those situations where I think you really got to get it going tonight, especially with this update. If you can come out early, confident to build it, you will definitely see it continue for a few of these drivers throughout the next few weeks. So I think we got a very interesting show on hands for us here tonight. So again, thank you to everybody who's been tuning in, and we can't wait to see what this green flag drops, because I tell you, Robert, it is going to be high intensity from the drop of the green flag. And I'm telling you, with this update, I think the ability to go green flag racing becomes a little bit more easy, just how these cars drive. It definitely feels like you can get a little bit more a hold of this car. The tires have a little bit more to lean on. I think everybody's going to have a little bit more stability. It's just going to be how well can they keep it off each other, I think, when it comes to that caution flag.
Well, that's going to be the question here tonight, because we're at Bristol, and it's a beating and banging track, and everybody sees what happens in real life. Well, there is no difference here at BRB Racing League and in iRacing in general. These guys are going to be fighting, banging, beating, trying to save tires. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out here, as it's just going to be interesting, but we'll hit on that too later on, and watch and see what these guys can do here too. As now we're going to pop up the schedule so far, so I need to fix that too, and the tracks. But you can see right now who has won on some of these. Unfortunately, the tracks are not there, but I'd have to pull up the schedule, as that part's broken. Hey, ATVO broke too, Zach, with this big update, so they got to fix things too.
Oh, trust me, a lot of things are definitely still in the wings to be fixed when it comes to this update, definitely for sure. But yeah, I mean, the biggest thing I think you can see from that there, looking at it, the only multi-time winner, Gavin Rogers, looks like he's also ran a part-time schedule so far. So, a lot of these guys have, it's been very competitive. At least the races that I've been able to tune in and watch, it has been very, very competitive with multiple names mixed up there. And I think you're going to see tonight possibly a new winner, just due to the factor of it is such a new update. This track is so different than anything we've seen on this schedule so far, that I think a lot of drivers or a driver will show up tonight that maybe hasn't got that win this season. So I'm excited to see if that happens. And of course, you brought up the stage racing factor. Those stage breaks are going to be at lap 60 and 120 tonight. So we'll see how that first opening 60 laps goes, then that next 60. But after that, Robert, they are going to have quite a long run. It's going to be 130 laps to the end of the race. So that one's going to be the very interesting point of how can you make the tires last? What's the strategy going to be when it comes down to that point? Because I think a lot of this first couple stages is going to be, if we do get yellow flags, you're going to see majority of the field looking to stay out, to keep that track position, to stay out of trouble.
Well, yeah, that too, and we're packing in right now 36 cars, so we're gonna have pit road that cars are gonna be pitting, Zach, in the front, and there's gonna be in the front pit road and the back pit road. So you're gonna have to learn where your pit entrance is and where you exit, because if you mess up, we got race control Rev looking up there over the booth, and if he sees you entering the wrong way and getting the black flag, you don't get that black flag cleared. So you also have that rule in there. Then you also have the rule, causing a yellow 2 times could unfortunately knock you out of the race too. So drivers got to be very careful here tonight and give room and not beat and bang too much. So we'll have to see how that like I said, how this all is going to play out. As we've got about 2 minutes to go here, so I know you haven't been watching too much, Zach, here, but if we want to do a quick pick 'em, who would you pick for tonight's race?
I've raced with a few of these guys in the past. I've seen a few little things from this season of who has been kind of a driver to watch out for. Some reason I do have my eyes tonight on the 24 Isaiah Sutherland. I think he may have his possible first victory. I noticed this season he's had a few very strong runs. He always seems to run up front when he's at this league, but I think that 24 could possibly be one to watch out for, at least from previous memory of past when I raced him. He seemed to be pretty decent at Bristol.
Well, I picked the same one, Zach, and the reason why I picked that too is because he is known here at BRB as the Concrete King. This guy just knows how to race on concrete. He knows how to save his tires. He did it last night in a practice race, which we did over on Twitch on our Freaky Fast Twitch account. I broadcasted it a little bit, but yeah. Seeing what he was doing during the race, there was 3 drivers that were doing it. Mason Hausman, Johnny Wood Jr., and Isaiah Sutherland were all running the low line the whole time around. Clean air in the low line, Zach, seemed to be the fastest last night. Now, that's not saying that's going to happen here tonight, but I do believe that's where you want to be. Save them tires.
It seems to be that way, yeah. It seems like even before on this previous update, the outside always seems to use a little bit more tire because you carry that little bit more speed we've just always felt. So it definitely seems to be the low side to save the tires. And, I feel way more confident about my pick now, even, given this information that he's performed that well. And, like I said, I've known Isaiah from the past, and it seems like, again, this would be a track that would suit that 24. So that's very interesting that we both went with the same pick. But, man, I'm super excited as it is all about to come very quickly to a conclusion here in practice as we get ready for this qualifying, Robert. And I tell you what, it's going to be very important to see where you start. You do not want to start far out back here. That puts you right in the danger zone at Bristol.
No, yeah, danger zone as we get started too. Then what that does there, Zach, is that also, puts you in the back. You don't want that either, because then you're in the back, and the time you get to the green flag, you're halfway already a lap down even before the race starts.
It happens so fast. Before you blink your eye, you're looking in your relative and you see that driver popping up. Each one of these drivers has a black box. We call it the black boxes because it's a box that's located in the right side, usually of your screen on your car. And that tells us really the relative of how much time in between each car in front and back of us. And when you see that leader pop up on that relative, Robert, that's always a scary sight, and it happens quick here at Bristol. So right here as we enter qualifying, it is going to be very critical, folks, to see who is going to put down that fastest time. And these drivers have 2 laps. Put down your quickest time and see what you got to compare to people. As right now we're watching the 78 of Mason Hausman. You heard about him being quick last night. Well, he's going to be right here looking to put down the quickest lap he possibly can here as he's going to come by to complete that first lap of 15.509, a little bit off the practice session times, so a little bit of loss of speed there, but I think the second lap is where he's going to be going for it. As you can see, he drops it to the bottom side. Let's see if this time picks up.
Well, we're going to see here, and it looks like he's going to do it. He runs a 14.309, fastest lap of the race so far. As there was another one to watch out for, the Clark there, Coulter Clark in that 54 machine. He was fast too, as it looks like my ticker ATVO broke that. So we'll just take it down. I do apologize. ATVO is breaking things, Zach. So we'll just take that down and fix that later.
We'll figure it out as we go, as they would say. So we'll take that down, but you can see there Hausman up on top. Ronnie Osmer in the second position. Like you said, Johnny Wood Jr., he looked good last night. He's in third. Gray Walker, in the fourth position. Fifth's going to be Kyle Heath. That's teammates of, I believe, Sutherland. So definitely seeing some good drivers up here. Buzzio is going to jump up to 6'2". He needs a big run tonight right there below the cut line. So drivers, really, really important time right now to put down your best times. And Hausman, I mean, we picked the right guy. We got on board with him, and he went quickly to the top, and he's got 500ths of a second on the next car. So that is an impressive time on a short track like this.
Yeah, and trying to pick up just that half a tenth to a tenth more, you know, like you said there, Zach, it's hard. You know, you can only get so much out of the car, and and that's about all you're going to get. As we're watching Eric here in that 88 machine here coming around here in that Chevy machine. Let's see what he's going to put down, see what that puts him on the board. Looks like it's going to put him in 28th position here. We'll see if he as he scraped the wall. I don't know if that's going to help him or disqualify this lap too. Never mind, that's going to.
Yeah, that one's definitely going to bring a sudden end to the qualifying lap. And speaking of suddenness, we're going to watch the 55 of Zachary here take his lap around Bristol. If you want sudden service, well, I'll tell you where you need to go. You need to go to P.A.L's. And Robert, I always love when we see these sponsors of, of food places, because it always just gets me a little bit hungry. So definitely, if you're out there looking for something, make sure you go check out P.A.L's. They're in Northeast. They have 33 locations in northeastern Tennessee and southwest Virginia, or southwestern Virginia. So make sure you go out there. They like I was talking about their sudden service. They won the Malcolm Baldridge National Quality Award in 2001, which is the highest national honor for performance and quality excellence. So P.A.L's definitely a great regional fast food chain. If you're out there in Tennessee or Virginia, make sure you go check them out for their sudden service.
Yeah, now I'm hungry, like you said. Now I want to eat something, but we're going to watch Sam Dyer here with a minute left to go. Here, as he's going to bring it around, let's see what kind of lap time this guy puts in here in that target machine here. Sam's going to go around and put down his first lap here, and we'll find out where he's going to place himself on the board. Right now, he's going to be in 27th with a 14.641. We'll see if he can add on to that and move up the board just a little bit more, as we'll see here. And then we also got Scott Fritz out there yet, and Dakota Dakota. I'm just going to call him Dakota because his last name, I never say it right anyways. So
I would Blay?
We always call him Blah.
Well, I tell you, folks, if you're out there watching and if me, Robert, get your name wrong, please make sure you send me a message on Discord or in the chat somewhere here, and we'll definitely try to fix up the names. As we learned, there is sometimes that could be the most difficult part of broadcasting is the names. I tell you what wasn't difficult is Hossman getting that pole. He went out early, got it, and he's got it done. As the final 10 seconds are clicking away, and everybody's taking times except for Richard Wolfsifer. So we'll see if it stands, but it looks like for the time being, Hossman will be your pole setter for tonight's P.A.L Sudden Service 250 here at the Bristol Motor Speedway for the BRB ButtKicker Cup Series. As we'll be looking to get them gridded up. We were supposed to have a warm-up, but I believe we didn't have that added to the session tonight. So we'll be going straight to the grid here, Robert, and we'll be looking to pull up that qualifying order to show you where your favorite drivers start from tonight's grid. And here it is. Hossman going to start on that pole position. Second's going to go to Ronnie Osmer. Very close times there between those two. Dylan Yeager going to start in the third position. Fourth's going to go to Johnny Wood Jr. Fifth is going to be the 18 of Gray Walker. Sixth is going to be our points leader, Dustin Stallings, in the 00. Seventh is going to be Christian Barnes. Eighth is going to be Kyle Heath in the 13 machine. Ninth is going to be the 5 of Adam Buzzio. And rounding out the top 10, it's going to be the 07 of Josh Anderson.
All right, Josh Anderson, as I do apologize, it looks like ATV is still having bugs. I have no clue where that even came from. I know iRacing put in that flag.
The new clubs.
Thing. Yeah, the new club thing. They got rid of the clubs and put the flag.
They got rid of clubs.
Yeah. Yep. So apparently I got to look at something here. But yeah, then we got Brendan Maddox there in 11th. With Scott Fritz going to be starting in 12th in that 48 machine. The Dakota Camper in 13th with Stephen Borbell. And 14th in that number 2 with Nicholas Renner. And 15th, P16 is going to go to Jason Bottoms. Zachary Brandville, Zachary, is going to start 17th position. And Carl Pooler in 18th position there. As we see the rest of the running order here, as we got in 19th position, Coulter Clark, and then we do got Andrew there in P20 and P20 and the 6th machine, and then Cody Dorsey in the number 9 in the 21st position here, Zach.
Yeah, and then will be 22nd. It's going to be the 52 of Cole Lewis. Jared Hughes going to start there in 23rd on the inside lane. On the outside in 24th, it's going to be the 90 of Joshua Parent. 25th is going to be the 46 of Matthew Shelby. 26th position going to go to the 10 of Cameron Gilmore. 27th is going to be Dakota Blake. As I said, if we got your name wrong, make sure to let us know. 28th is going to be Braden Van Windergarden. Sam Dyer, our very own, will be starting back in 29th. 30th is going to be Evan Paneco. 31st is going to be Caden Perkins. 32nd is going to be Braxton Skinner. 33rd, Eric Jensen. 34th, Isaiah Sutherland. 35th, Dan Stoccario. And rounding out our 36 cars is going to be Richard Walsifer, as don't believe he'll be taking the grid. I believe he'll be missing tonight's race, it looks at the time being. But we've rolled off the grid, Robert. Hausman leads the way, and we're going to get ready to pace around Bristol here as we get ready to prepare for this green flag.
Get ready to go green here, ladies and gentlemen. Again, thank you for tuning in here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Hopefully you like tonight's event here at the BRB Racing League here at Bristol Motor Speedway, as we are going to get ready to go green. And it looks like Mason said, let's go now. And the pace car said, no, we're going to do one more lap, sir.
That it is. 2 laps around Bristol here, as these drivers are going to get just that little bit more time to think about what they're going to do as they enter turn 1 at full almost speed, as it's going to be Hausman starting on the low side, Ronnie Osmer on the outside, Yeager in third, Johnny Wood rounding out them top 2 rows on the outside. It's going to be quick here early to see what lane takes advantage of the speed, but you're going to get to see it here first on Freaky Fast, folks. It's the Bristol Motor Speedway, the BRB ButtKicker Cup Series, and we are ready to go as the pace car is off. The green flag is out, and Hausman is on the gas as we're down towards turn 1. It's going to be side by side. Can the 15 stay on the quarter panel, or does the 78 clear? Osmer looking to take the spot, but then he's going to slide up in front of him, and there's going to be contact early here for our leaders.
Wow, and Ronnie is just beating and banging.
Walker.
Yeah. Oh, man, these guys
Caution is out in the speedway.
Already. We already got a caution, ladies and gentlemen.
That it is. It looks like Gray Walker, Robert, I believe, is old. There is a log jam on the front straightaway. This is the issue that you will see sometimes play out at this racetrack. When something happens, it happens big. And you can see this was the initial restart right here, as we're going to see that what happened there as we got the giant board in front of us. But it looks like Gray Walker's, we're going to try to see if we can see around this board. But he's going to go down into this corner here, and it looks like he's just going to lose the rear end on cold tires, blink out for a second, make contact with a few other cars, and then this is chaos from this point.
Oh, my God. We have a pile-up, ladies and gentlemen, turn number 1 at the start-finish line.
that we did. I mean, there was at least 8 to 10 cars involved in this one. As again, you can see Walker losing the rear end, cold tires on entry there, just maybe a little rear brake bias too much, loses that stability. It goes around, and then from there, the rest of the field's trying to react. But the problem was also he was blinking as that contact was made, so it was a hard object to guess on what was going to go down when you have an object that's not only wrecking and moving across the racetrack, but disappearing and reappearing.
Right, yeah, unfortunately too, and they do not have a fast repair here in the league, so all these guys that got a little bit of damage, as we'll go back live here, they could probably come down and get their car fixed. I don't think, they weren't really up to speed though, Zach, so they might be okay, only time will tell. We'll have to see here.
That we will. And yeah, coming into tonight also, that was a tough break too for Gray Walker, as he came in tonight here 11th in points. So in a very important position that he wants to keep a hold of, is above that 12th position. So unfortunate for him, early damage for that 18 machine, is they'll be getting that car worked on. And I think the important thing, you might see some drivers such as I believe Sam Dyer, he's already a lap down. Walker's now going a lap down. There's gonna be a few of them here that get trapped a lap down, but you might as well, in my opinion, go ahead and get those damage repairs done, because you got those guaranteed cautions coming later, not only, but also the factor of Bristol is a lot of times you will see that rash of yellows continue on.
Correct. Yes. So, well, let's hope the yellows don't continue on for these guys here. But yeah, unfortunately, what a start to tonight's event here. New tires, and that had nothing to do with the tires or the driver's skills, Zach. He just blinked out and went around. So unfortunately for him, how that happened, as we are back green, and now we're going to see how this all settles out. If Ronnie still beats and bangs Mason, as though he's seen him before, now he's going to look down below.
Now to the inside, Osmer looking to get this lead here early. Had the door shut on him by the 78. They made contact off the exit. Now takes the lead position and control of this race is Jaeger in the 42. He's pulled up alongside, and now another yellow flag is going to wave, and I believe this one's going to be farther back in the field. I believe the 62 car of Dan Stoccario was involved on it, but it actually all started around, I believe, originally Braxton Skinner in the 33. Oh, no, sorry. More carnage. There was multiple cars involved in this one. I believe the car on that bottom side, that might have been Walsifer. Is Richard out there on the track now? Yes, I believe it is.
Yeah,
looks like he got loose, and that caused the check up there.
Yeah, and you can just see everybody else not slowing down, and the 62 goes around, the 33 goes around, and the 1 gets involved again. Sam Dyer makes it around, and oh my goodness, what a mess.
Early carnage here at Bristol, only 9 laps in on the second caution, but you can see there this contact was made. I think the 33, he was mostly, really looking forward, of what was going on ahead of him, was checking up, and I think that really caused the chain reaction there. So unfortunate situation, but that is how Bristol will be. It will literally be a accordion effect of where, one car is going to have an issue farther up, and it's just going to trickle back, because actually we're going to see that slight issue that possibly kind of caused a little bit of that checkup there. Is you can see Wolfsfer here coming into the pictures. Oh, he's going to be getting caught up into this. I don't know if this is before they caught up to the yellow flag. Yeah, actually it is. Yeah, they're catching up still.
So we'll try to find this. I know something happened with Richard up front, so.
Yeah, he got loose. It like he had clipped the yellow the curbing, so it just got him a little bit loose, and I think that kind of trickled on backwards. So it's unfortunate that happened, but again, that is the effects of racing here at Bristol. When you have 36 cars on top of one another, they are going to have big issues very quickly here if someone else has a problem. So Osmer, the race leader, after all that has worked out. Jaeger in the second, Hossman back to third, Wood Jr. holding in the fourth position as our points leader. Dustin Stallings makes his appearance into the top 5.
As we'll talk to chat out here too, and we got Tyler Dingler wondering how many yellows we'll have tonight. I don't like to make numbers when it comes to a track like this and curse it, so we're gonna just leave it to whatever you think as the yellows will have tonight. But yeah, we already got 2 yellows, 11 laps, and I know these guys should calm down. I'm hoping they calm down here, and let these tires. I think the key tonight, Zach, is you gotta let these tires warm up. You just can't go flying into the turn. It's just not. It's not the old way anymore.
That it is. The green flag's back out. Osmer takes the outside line, and he's going to hold on to it as Ronnie's trying to fight on the outside line, but the 42 finding the power on the inside to pull alongside. So Dylan trying to find an early lead here in the 42 machine, but just can't find the speed there as Ronnie Osmer in the 15 clears to take this lead position. While the back some action is we're starting to single file out as Josh Anderson in the 07 back here fighting for a top 7 position. As you got Brendan Maddox, Kyle Heath, Christian Barnes, all on top of one another trying to fight for spots. It looks like our points leader, our pole setter Hossman dropping back, maybe trying to save a little tire here.
Yeah, that would be what you do. You did. What I'm liking to see right now here, as these guys are still battling side by side, is what you said there, Zach. Let's get all single file and get these tires moved up and then race each other, as this is what we're seeing these guys do. Now, I do know that these cars are built like tanks, or they used to be, so you're going to see a lot of people scraping that wall, Zach, and, I don't know if it's for the good, for the bad, but some guys are going to wind up, hitting that one too many times and wind up ruining their vehicle, by doing that. But yeah, you can see here right now we got Dustin Stallings now. He's trying to work his way up around, and he's trying to look to go forward here as he's looking at trying to get around Anderson on the high side, and it looks like he's going to get it as Anderson's going to go low and Stallings is going to stay high. You can see him scraping and scuffing, and welcome to Bristol, baby.
Yeah, using that wall every now and then is definitely a feature that you'll see a few of these guys do here tonight. They'll be bouncing off that safer barrier, trying to carry as much speed as possible. As long as, like I said, the points leader here, he's fighting early to keep this track position. And, you know, you talked about how many stage points he got. Well, this is a great way to set him up for early stage points. Keep track position here early, and everybody doing a great job right now as we ride on board Kyle Heath. You can see Heath sticking to this low line in this Auburn University cars. He's going to try to find his way forward as the 07 Anderson maybe looks to be struggling a little bit. He gained a ton of positions on the top side, and then immediately, look, you can see he's starting to struggle. And that is one feature we have seen come immediately from this car, new from these tires. We used to previously fall off over a course of about 20 to 30 laps. Now it seems like the fall off that we would see before almost happens within 10 laps, and it starts to trickle slowly off from there. So you see a much quicker drop off rate here with these new tires, Robert, and I think that's where you're going to see some of these guys who maybe push a little too hard early start to struggle a little faster.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can see he gets the 95, Jason. Oh, no, look out. And, Adam Buzzio again.
Such a tough break.
Just, that guy, I don't know what to say, man. If he doesn't have any luck, he'd have no luck. I mean, he's in everything, which way doesn't matter.
Oh, no, I feel so much for Adam Buzzio because here, as you're going to see here, we're going to ride on board with him, Robert. And this is going to be the tale of just horrible luck. The 07 up ahead up here is unfortunately going to lose his race car and going to lose a little bit of control there off that exit. And when he comes back here across, you're going to see, look at the 5. He throws himself into the wall because he is trying his best just to squeeze by, or maybe just slow his car down just enough to maybe get squeezed through there. That is the worst situation to be in when you're that close to the wall proximity and that gap is closing. I've been in that situation multiple times and done that exact same situation where you just throw yourself into the wall due to trying to just squeeze through there. I mean, that is an unwinnable situation for the 5 of Buzzio.
Yeah. Well, like you said, it's unwinnable, but, you know, if he threw himself into the wall and that was his game plan to slow him down, at least he didn't get as much damage as if he would have just really, you know, ran into him. You know, 5 miles per hour, 7 miles per hour slowing down can make a huge difference when it comes to these cars or any car in real life. You know, when you wreck something, the slower you go, the better off you are. So we'll have to see. Adam looks like he's going to stay out, though. It looks like he's not too worried about that damage, so he's going to stay out here, Zach, and see what happens here with that damage that he has, as we are all in lap 26 of 250 here, and we got to make it to lap 60, so I think he's not worried about going back in the pack. I think he wants to stay up in the front. He feels like that, you know, that's his best place right now.
I totally agree with him. I think if he put himself farther back, he's just going to probably get himself in more trouble. I mean, at this point, take the damage, see how it works. As long as you're the wheels somewhat straight, it's driving somewhat, approachable to the corner, you should be able to deal with it. But yeah, that definitely was an interesting situation, and it all started, of course, it was contact between Josh C. Anderson in the 07 and the 95 of Jason Bottoms, who got to give a huge shout out to Jason Bottoms there, 16th to 8th here early in the race. So really climbing his way through. Same for like Cody Dorsey, 21st to 12th. Jared Hughes, 23rd to 14th. There's a few guys really climbing their way through the field and making an early appearance here into that top 15.
Yeah, you got Scott Fritz trying to make his way back in. Nicholas Renner's back here running in 14th, 15th position. Shelby's been having a really good, in that 46, really good year so far for him, as we're getting ready to go back green flag racing, and we are green, green, green. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen.
Osmer outside taking control, but it's going to be the 42 of Yeager, who jumps to the inside but just cannot keep alongside. As you're going to see, that 15 clears his way through 3 and 4, and off the exit, it's going to be Johnny Wood Jr. up to 3rd, and Dustin Stallings, our points leader, he's made an appearance now up to 4th, and really trying to utilize that outside line. I've seen a few guys really try to do that, and another one doing it, Brendan Maddox. He's from 11th up to the top 5 now.
Yeah, Dustin Stallings now, like you said, up to 4th position, our points leader. He's having one whale of a season right now. As we watch back here, we got Carl Pooler back here in 17th position, trying to work his way around. And then you also got Jason back here with Evan back here in that 81. They're trying to figure out as we
Yellow
are
flag.
back under yellow again, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll have to see if we can figure out where that came from.
Believe that is going to be around the, I believe the one car. Yeah, Braden Van Winder Windergren. I can't say his name. I'm sorry, Brendan.
It's okay, Brian. We can't say your name, but yeah, we can see here living lucky. He's level. Oh, he's not living lucky though. I can say that much as he got tagged, tried to save it, all bounced off the 25, the 62 again. Oh, the 18 and Sam Dyer all just got in that complete mess. So we'll have to see here again as we're gonna watch Zach here, and it looks like the 90 just clips him a little bit. He's trying to save it. You can see him trying to save it, and unfortunately our cameras won't let us get to it. But yeah, I don't know. Did Sam get into that?
He caught a little piece of it, but actually looking back at it, I thought maybe Sam didn't get slowed down enough there. But he actually was getting clipped by the 3 car Dakota Camper, who didn't get slowed down enough. So it actually ended up causing the 35 to kind of shoot into this. So this is unfortunate. As you see Dyer here, he's been coming down the back straightaway here, and he's going to quickly see all this happening up ahead of him here. And he's going to say, you know what, I probably need to get this car slowed down. Unfortunately, I don't think that memo got to the cars behind him.
Yeah, you can see here as he's slowing down, and you can see, he just ran right into the looks like the 18 there, unfortunately. So, but wow. All right, well, going back green here very shortly as we're on lap 33 now.
Yeah, surprisingly already halfway through stage number 1, Robert. That's how fast things will fly by here. And we have not had, a good portion of green flag laps. So it shows you, again, even under yellow flag conditions, you're seeing lap times of about 47 seconds. That's pretty comparable to some racetracks and races such as, Daytona and Talladega. So it's definitely still a fast way to travel around here, but these drivers are definitely want to get the green flag back under their hands because they want to, be able to battle here. Is right now pacing down the back straightaway, Robert. I think these drivers are in the position where it starts to get tough because you want to try to, be patient, but then as the cautions keep coming, it just becomes a situation of where you got to get a little more aggressive because that stage gets closer and closer.
Gets closer and closer, as you're correct there, Zach. As we're getting ready to go back green, we're going to go freaky fast. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Off we go down into turn number 1 as Ronnie. Oh my God, I got too much going on in the background here. But anyways, the 15's going to get passed there by the 42. So I don't know if they're teammates or not. I think they might be.
Not sure if they are teammates. We'll definitely look into that here as we get farther into the race. But Yeager and Osmer definitely looking very, very strong right now as Wood Jr. holding on to the 3rd position. Maddox, he's able to be running 3rd right now as Stallings looks like he's under threat from the 13 of Kyle Heath. So he's starting to find his way through the field slightly here and make a way forward as he's going to have the 95 of Jason Bottoms, Christian Barnes, and Mason Halsman, our pole setter, dropped all the way back to 9th here. So Halsman giving up a ton of track position. We'll see if that comes back to him here, if we can get a longer green flag run.
Well, we'll have to see how this all works out as we're starting. It looks like now finally starting to get settled down, it looks like here. We'll have to see as we've got Scott Fritz right now in that 48. He's looking on the high side of Adams, and it looks like he's going to be able to pass him. And now he gets himself up into the top 13, and now he's going to go after that pit stop TV machine of Coulter Clark as he's going to try to get around him. And no, he's not going to be able to do it yet. And now he clears him. Now he's up to 12th, and right now, if we keep going, 20 laps to go, here, Zach. He should be able to get some stage points if he keeps rolling the way he is right now.
That is Scott Fritz definitely finding his way through here in the 48 machine, is making that pass on Coulter Clark. There is. You're also going to have Matthew Shelby right in front of him. Also, the 78 of Mason Halsman, he's dropped back to 10th. So it's definitely interesting times here. It's 42 laps into this first stage, and right here, Isaiah Sutherland, the driver that we both actually picked to win this race, he had to start from near the rear of the field. He is right now in the 26th position, making that pass on the 88 of Eric Jensen, as now he'll set his sights on the 55 of Zachary Brandvold.
And this is what he was doing last night, Zach, as we were watching. Oh, no, Stephen Borbell. I'm not sure if he got help, but yellow flag is out.
That he is. Borbell goes around, and I believe, yeah, that is going to be contact, and that's going to be contact between him and the 56 of Richard Wolsifer. So definitely an unfortunate situation. I think when we see this, it's going to be the 56. Unfortunately, getting into the outside wall, making a mistake there, and the 2 is just going to be kind of the innocent bystander in this, as you can see here, running that P.A.L scheme there. Beautiful looking car in the 2 machine tonight's race sponsor. He's going to be running this bottom groove here, right behind the 21. You're going to see right here, Richard Wilson bounce off the wall into that right or left rear quarter panel. That's going to send the 2 spinning, and Brandvold barely hanging on to his machine, but also even behind the 1 there, Braden holding on to his machine. Whew, we had multiple cars going around on that one.
Yeah, that was Cole Lewis there. He was hanging on to his machine here too, like you said. But wow, yeah, interesting start of tonight's event here, as we're going to go back here live. And yeah, I'm sure these guys had a funny feeling this was going to happen. So we'll have to see here as we bring up the race report. Right now, 46 laps in the books already, Zach, and we're already up to caution number 5 here, ladies and gentlemen. Only 2 lead changes, 18 laps under caution here, with a total of 27 green flag laps right now here. So I'm sure these guys are saying, okay, guys, let's get this cleaned up, try to figure out what we need to do. And, you know, coming off of a new build too, though, Zach, is tough. You know, everybody's trying to learn a whole new car. You know, we've raced this car for over a year and got used to the way things are, and then all of a sudden they say, here you go, something all new, and now everybody's out there trying to figure it out. So I would imagine that there's got to be a little bit of leadway into tonight's event here with these yellows. So unfortunately.
No doubt. I think definitely coming into a new build, a track like Bristol too for a new build, I think everybody's going to have their concerns. So definitely, you know, I felt, you know, when you come to Bristol, especially as a broadcaster myself and as a driver, I expect it to be very yellow filled. It just seems to be a very much trend on iRacing as the years have went on. It just seems that it's harder and harder to get green flag laps at places like this. But I am not giving up on these guys. That some point we're going to have us a decent run here tonight, and it's going to put on a show, as we've already seen some great racing so far in just the 27 laps that we have with green so far. So it's been a pleasure up here to move so far, as I believe the pace car going to pull left this time. We're going to get ready to go back green flag racing as the 42 of Dylan Yeager leads us to green, and the 15, great launch from the outside. He's going to have the lead here heading down to 1.
He had the lead, but it looks like he's going to back off and let Dylan get in front of him, and he's going to fall back into second position. As now here we got Stallings. He's going to try to work his way up through, and then we also got Johnny Wood Jr. and Brandon Maddox. They're all battling side by side, and we just got a cluster of cars trying to figure out where they want to go, how they want to go, and not give up any space, because we're getting down to the nitty gritty. We got 10 laps to go until we hit the stage side of things. So
yeah, and I believe also in this league too, if you hit past that lap 55 mark, caution comes out. I believe it will be called the stage at that point. So you need to definitely start to make things happen, as lap 51 now completed on lap 52. Drivers trying to find their way into the top 10 to gather those valuable bonus points. But the yellow flag is going to fly, and it's going to be farther back in the field. I'm going to try to see what car that actually was. Is it a sideways on the back straightaway? It's going to bring out the yellow, and that won't be our stage either, Robert. So we're going to be able to go back green flag racing before this is all said and done. And I believe actually it was the 55 of Zachary Brandvold, as I believe it all started around that grouping.
Yeah,
of cars in
see him sitting there as he comes up, and you see it right there. Southern's right in front of him. He's going down. Oh, look, 19's getting loose. Yeah. Oh, and P.A.L didn't see him checking up because, and the 52 ARCA brake. I hate to call it that way, but Cole Lewis just never slowed down, Zach. You can see right here.
That's a whoopsie.
Yeah, and you can see he just nowhere to go. I don't know. I don't know if he had somewhere to go. That's a kind of, if you watch it here from the cockpit, we'll see what he does in the cockpit here, as it should have this happening right in front of you. And yeah, you can see he's seen it like at the last minute and tried to get out of the way. So yeah, I'm not sure there, Zach. Not sure on that one.
That is tough, yeah, for all those drivers involved in that. It was heavy contact, and also this does not bring it into our stage either here, I believe, Robert. I haven't heard word yet on that, but looks like we will be going back green flag because it should be within the 60 lap regulation. So we will quickly be getting another yellow flag after this. So this is going to be an interesting restart. This is where it's almost like a little, test of a green-white checkered, so to say. This is going to be some aggressive moves being made. You got some drivers on that cut line there in 10th. This Renner 9th is going to be Cody Dorsey, Jason Bottoms there in the 8th, and it's going to be Coulter Clark there in the 11th, Adam Buzzio 12th, and Jared Hughes 13th, who are all looking to maybe find their way to grab some valuable, maybe 1 to 2 stage points that could help propel them possibly to a better, points finishing position here to make the playoffs.
Most definitely. I know Coulter Clark, he's back here in 12th position. I know he could use some stage points. Carl Pooler, I know he can use some stage points. You got Adams back here in 5. He needs some stage points. So, I mean, how desperate do you go here, with these laps go? And we're going to find out here, ladies and gentlemen, as we're going to get ready to go back green flags out. Down into turn number 1, here we go, side by side.
Here we go. Great restart that time there from the 42. He's able to clear very easily, but Osmer going to go immediately back to the inside as the 15 just not able to find the grip he needs. There is now Stallings up to 3rd. Stallings, again, talking about all the stage points he grabbed. He is looking to get more than just top 3 points. He's trying to get up into the top 2 possibly. As you can see back here, this is the battle that's forming back here. This is the 71 of Carl Pooler right here in the 12th position. He's got Dorsey right up there alongside him. And it's going to be a battle here, Robert, for this final playoff point.
Yeah, you got Cody Dorsey, like you said, Carl Pooler. He's trying to work his way up here as Jason Bottom is going to look at getting 1 stage point here, maybe, as we are on the final lap here, lap number 60 of the first stage. And we'll see what happens here, as it looks like Carl's not going to be able to get around Jason Bottoms as the yellow flag is out. And Jason Bottoms is going to get 10th position. Not bad for Jason. I mean, any way you can get stage points, you take them.
That's for sure. Definitely will take those valuable points. But it's Dylan Yeager, the race winner, or not the race winner, the stage winner from stage number 1 here, the P.A.L sudden service 250 here from the Bristol Motor Speedway. And people pit, Robert. Yeager stays out in the 42.
Whoa. Now the question is that a mess up from him, or is this game plan because of all the yellows that we, ran, Zach? Don't know how much wear is done on these tires, or did he, miss his pit box, pit entrance?
Well, the thing is, you pit off the exit of turn 2. So that is a little different than your normal track where you enter off of 4 normally. Or actually, he is entering off of 4. So this is interesting. Last time I was at Bristol, you enter off of 2, but this is where the 42 will come down pit road. And yeah, I think it's just a misunderstanding of which pit road to enter. So the 42 gonna go from winning the stage to all the way to the back of the field. That is the worst possible situation.
That is tough. Our stage winner here is going to fall from all the way in the lead, and now he's going to drop all the way back. He's back in 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd. and he is going to come out around in the 20th position here, Zach. So, yeah, now he's got to work his way up through the field here, and that's going to be a tough thing to do here with all the yellows that we're having. Hopefully those will get cleaned up a little bit, but yeah, I mean, unfortunately, you know, our stage winner here, I'm not sure if we can see him on Discord, but it's a little hard to talk to the stage winner when we're getting ready to go back green right here. So, ladies and gentlemen, or we would have a chat with him.
Yeah, would have a chat with him for sure, but these yellow flags here so quick at the Bristol Motor Speedway. It just doesn't give the time, and definitely don't want to mess up any of the drivers. But as we get into these other weeks, we will definitely have some chats with our stage winners and drivers throughout the races to hear their thoughts and feelings. But again, stick around until after the race, and you'll get to hear from the drivers who we are up there interviewing in post-race. So it is going to be, I'm sure, interesting to hear their voices after that. But we're ready to go back green flag racing. It's going to be the 90, Joshua Parent leading the way. Isaiah Sutherland up to second on the front row, and green flag is out. Great restart from these guys as they're going to head down the one. It's going to be the 90 leading the way, the 24 in second, and the 88 Eric Jensen up front here as it's been a huge shift in track position for a few.
Huge, yeah. We had the drivers going from the front to the back and the back to the front here as we seen Isaiah Sutherland there make that move, and Eric Jensen there trying to make it well. Oh, as the 48's going around, and look out.
Major net code, I believe, on this one as the wreck continues on the back straightaway here, and it is continuing to pile in as the 56 is going to come right into the 42 of them, and oh no, that's going to get spun around. Brendan Maddox trying to get spun back around and go. Stephen Morbell slowly rolling through. Man, this is quite the pile up, and it all started, I believe, from a little bit of netcode. Yeah, big netcodes. We'll go back here and see the 48. You know, was already kind of losing the race car a little bit. As you can see, this is actually a almost completely separate incident. Yeah, that happened farther back, and it was netcode. So we had two completely opposite incidents here. Is the 95 and Jason Bottoms even got turned around.
Yeah, we have Jason Bottoms, and then the 48 you said had a little bit of net code. Oh yeah, and then there that was at the start, and then coming around here that happened. So let's see if we can figure out exactly what happened here, Zach, as we're watching the 48 of Scott Fritz. And we might have to slow this down just a little bit. As you can see, 15 got behind him, but huge netcode. The 6 tried to, miss it in that Dairy Queen machine, and, well, never mind. Now we just have cars running each other over. Oh, as a 42, something we didn't want to see, he got ran over, and that pit stop mess just really messed up that 42 machine of Dylan there.
And that is exactly why right there, you don't want to be giving up track position at a track like Bristol, especially someone who just won a stage. You go from the highs of highs to the lows of lows here in sim racing. And it just shows you Bristol is not a safe place farther back in the field at any moment. Anything can happen. And I even believe the 42 here, he's on the tail end of the lead lap. So he's going to have to either get the wave or they're going to have to roll him back and then be on the lap down here. So I believe he'll get the wave here once we get to 1 to green, but just terrible situation for a few of these guys. And you look at the leader here, Parent, he's feeling very, very strong probably in the position he's in. Same for Isaiah Sutherland, same for Eric Jensen, who all three of these drivers stayed out on the last stop. They felt like staying out was going to be best to stay out of trouble. And I got to say, they may have called a master class here, because if we continue to just get yellow after yellow, they should be able to keep track position till that lap 120 stage.
Yeah, we'll have to see here as we're trying to get the lap 120 here for the next stage here. And then we got a big run to the end here. But, very interesting here as we're on lap 20. It's lap 70 here to get to 120. But yeah, Jason and Joshua there in that 90 leading the race. Like you said, they flipped everything and went into pit road and came out, and it all worked out. They didn't get the stage points that they wanted, but getting stage points the second time around is very interesting, and we'll have to see how these guys can hold off the back of the pack. But again, it all comes down to, like you said, Zach, yellows. Yellows breed yellows, but if we get a long green flag run, yeah, then these guys might be looking at being in a little trouble with the fresher tires. But like you said, yellows, don't got to go nowhere. Just stay where you're at and just pace around the track as we're getting ready to go back green.
Yeah, we are here in the restart zone. Green flag is out. Parent is away and off down in the turn one, but Sutherland able to keep alongside with that nose. He'll actually be completely alongside off the exit of 2, maybe in a little scuff of the wall, but the 24 looking to maybe find his way to the front of the field here as off the exit of 4 this time around. Sutherland leads that lap, the 24 to the lead. Joshua Parent back to second, and Dustin Stallings, he's drove his way up to third.
We see Dustin, he drove his way up the third. Eric Jensen's having a really great 88 machine. He's having a great run as we have another yellow out, ladies and gentlemen. And, yeah, this is starting to get a little crazy here. Just a little over-aggressive driving on cold tires.
Was what played out there, I believe, where the caution came from was Coulter Clark in that machine there. I believe it was the 42 of Yeager who steps out first, and it kind of causes this check up here. You're going to see a lot of guys check up once they come out the corners. You see up here is the 42. He's going to lose it, I believe, in this very next corner right here and lose a ton of speed because of that. You're going to see it going into the corner, just rear end stepping out a little too deep into the entry, loses that rear. And then from there, the checkup happens. The 54 gets ran into. And, man, it just continues on for a lot of those guys. As I believe that was the 3 who got into that 54.
Yeah, it looks like Camper, unfortunately, got involved into that. As we'll go back live here as everybody's coming down pit road. And, yeah, I mean, this is just becoming just stay right where you're at. Don't worry about making a pit stop and just ride it out right now.
That's for sure. I think a lot of these drivers you're going to see too, when we get closer and closer to that stage, you're going to see probably some people looking to try to do something similar here to what the 24, the 90, the 88 did, where they're going to pit, around, if you get a caution around 110, 105 in that area, just go ahead, get down pit road, get the tires on. Then when that caution comes out at 120, they're going to stay out and try to flip back to the front of this field and get some track position, because I can tell you, it's played out huge. I mean, look at these drivers. I mean, you got the 24 who's drove from 34th to 1st, and it wasn't, driving through the field. It was mostly strategy here. Joshua Parent, 24th to 2nd. Eric Jensen, 33rd to 4th. I mean, it just shows you that strategy has played out very well for them. I would not be surprised to see a few others try to do that. Now, they may be scared off a little bit by that 130 laps that loom after that stage, but with the type of racing and yellows we've seen tonight, I don't think you can expect much green flag racing.
Well, yeah, and that's it. Like you said, might be worried about that, but yeah, we'll have to see if they can keep it. It's going to come down, ladies and gentlemen. Do they keep it, green flag, or do we just have a lot of yellows pacing and everybody pits and monkey see, monkey do as we're getting ready to go back green here on lap 77 of 250 here at BRB Racing League. As, we're going to go side-by-side to 90 to 24, and we're side-by-side all the way back through the field, all the way back to 10th position these guys are battling.
This is wild stuff happening all throughout the field. Everybody trying to fight their way forward, claw their way forward, because they know you never know when that next yellow is around the next corner. If you don't get the position now, you might not get it on that next start. You might get caught up in something. So I think a lot of people starting to get a little antsy out there trying to find their way through. But right now, side-by-side action through the corner is it's going to be that 88 Eric Jensen. Holding on his own contact between him and the 15 off the exit of the corner. They're wrecking big.
Look out. There's a huge one. Oh, Richard just got, and
okay. The 07.
Yeah, the 07 is going to be done for the night, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, he's got a meatball flag. And I don't know where that all started from. The 15?
15 and 88, yeah. It was off the exit of this corner here. We were just watching it. The 15 had rolled the outside here, got to the outside of this 88, who, again, on a little bit older tires here, stayed out to jump that. And I think he was trying to maybe jump in behind the 15, but misjudged it by a good portion and just completely clears up
Oh,
into him and
oh,
turns that 15, which
oh.
you can see from there. I mean, everybody just piling in on that outside line, and major wheel damage, suspension damage to multiple cars. There's going to be a lot of cars that are in pit road for a good couple 10 minutes.
Oh, there's going to be cars that are no longer going to be out on the track as we watch Richard here. He just had nowhere to go. The '07, and you can see right in front, he tried to get out of the way and bam, just broke that car. Oh, and the 10 took him. Is it everybody? Oh, still checking up there, Zach. We got cars sliding all over the place, and that is the thing here with Bristol too. Something we have not talked about. It's not a self-cleaning track, so when something happens, there's going to be other cars all the way around.
No doubt, for sure. And very narrow. The walls are, to the inside, very much close to the outside. So when you have cars hitting those walls, they're bouncing back up, down, left, right. I mean, there's really no rhyme to any reason. So it is very much a guessing game for a lot of these drivers. Is under caution once again. As Isaiah Sutherland is our race leader, Joshua Parent in second, Dustin Stallings in third. But you can see there from the race report, 10 cautions tonight through the first 83 laps. We have 43 of these laps have been green flag laps. So technically we've ran, more than half the race under green flag laps.
Yeah.
So that's definitely, I'd say, a positive. We could have more yellow flag laps than green flag laps, but Bristol always a tough place in sim racing when it comes to racing around this place.
Yeah, some people love coming here and some people hate it, right? And I'm the type that, it's okay. But not too good at it, unfortunately. But yeah, these guys are just, I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know if it's just not coming prepared or what, but, different beasts, and we're going to have to learn it as we're going to get ready to go back green here, ladies and gentlemen, on lap 84 of 120 here with Robert A. Moyer Jr. in the booth here with Zach Hall as we are green.
That we are. Isaiah Sutherland able to clear. Very great restart for him from the outside, but Stallings looking to take control, slide up into the second split. And look at this, Scott Fritz, 1 point, the netco contact that caused that huge wreck. He was involved in that. He, remember, didn't get really any much from it. He was just a big slide, maybe hurt the tires from him, and he kept that track position. He's utilizing it because he's in fourth still, fighting for a top 5 spot with that 90.
Yeah, and he definitely needs to stage points too, as he's looking to get by that 90 there, as he's trying to stay behind Dustin Stallings there in that 00 machine. And then you got Kyle Heath in the back there in the 13th running the high line, and then you got Nicholas Renner. He's trying to figure out his way around there in that VRS machine of that 22. He's trying to work his way around, and he does as he's going to clip the wall a little bit. Now you got Kyle Heath going to look underneath the Stallings there in that 00, and he's going to try to make the pass on him, but not sure if he's going to be able to. But there's something else that I've been noticing, and I seen this last night as we are back under yellow. We will get back to that question here after we find out what happened with this next yellow.
Looks like the 78 of Mason Halsman involved in this one, and
man,
kind of a similar incident. We saw him on pole position. We saw him and the 15 come together on the exit. I mean, the 3 was in the wall already, and the 78 kind of, I don't know if he didn't expect the 3 to have that big of a run and be to the quarter pound, because the 3 did come from decently far back here. You'll see here through the entry, through the center. Look at the 3. I mean, he's multiple car lengths back already, and he's going to come from all the way back to be on that quarter panel off the exit of the corner. I believe it may be either this next corner or the next lap, because I just think it kind of caught Halsman off guard, because it looks like he was going for the normal racing line that he would do. As you can see right here, 3's not there, 3's not there. He's now there, and I think the 78 was just kind of going up, and the 3's already in the wall, and that's going to spin the 78 around, and he's just going to be against the wall rolling backwards. So wild little incident there, but brings us back out to another yellow.
Well, it could be too that the spotter, fell asleep. Didn't call that the vehicle was on the outside. But yeah, like you said, it looks like Halsman there, all he was doing is just running his line, and unfortunately didn't realize Dakota Camper is going to have that much of a run behind him with probably better tires. And unfortunately, he stuffed them up into the wall, and That is going to be our next, I do believe, number 11 on yellows, I
Yes.
do
Yep.
believe. So we're up to 11 with 92 laps in the books here so far. I don't know,
Been
Zach. I don't know.
Yeah. It's been a tough one for a lot of these guys, and as a driver, this is where it gets really really tough. Is you don't know what to kind of do. You sit in that situation of, do I sit here and play the game of, oh, if it does go long here, I need to have my equipment still with me and kind of give up a little track position, because you got to give a little to get, at the end of these runs. But
Yeah.
then the mindset is, well, why should I do that if we're going to have a caution, 10, 5 to 10 laps on average? You might as well just push this car as hard as possible, let the tires cool down each and every restart, and go back at it. So, I mean, we'll see how this works. I mean, of course, we have the new update. We don't know how those tire heat cycles work. I'm sure they're getting good practice on that tonight to see
Yeah.
how the cars feel. But it is an interesting situation to be in as a driver. You really kind of get in the position where you don't know what is going to be the right call. So it is it's questionable, and we'll see how these drivers attack it, because we're getting ever closer to that final stage appearing after lap 20.
Yeah, well, I think right now, if I was up there, Zach, I would just keep attacking, because the trend right now is yellow every 5 to 10 laps, maybe 15 laps. So I would just keep on pushing. What they're doing here right now is Southern's going to pull out in the lead here with Dustin Stallings running in second. Scott Fritz back there in fourth position as Nicholas Renner and the 90 touch each other, and they make it through, no harm, no foul, as now we see Scott Fritz he's really flying in that 48 machine.
Definitely flying in that 48 machines. Oh, he just gets to the outside of the 15 on quarter exit there. That could have got very close. He luckily catches it in the back of his mirror that the 48 was going to be there, and got maybe the call from the spotter. So 48 is Fritz here finding speed early, and he's going to try to attack this 0-0 of Stallings, who Stallings really tonight has been one of the drivers I feel like who utilizes the outside lane to the fullest extent. He has been very, very content to stay up there, and it seems like it's working very, very well for him.
Yeah, I would step into, as you can see now, he's trying a different line. He's going to follow what Isaiah Southern does. No, I guess not. He's going to make a liar out of me, and he's going to run the high line going through 1 and 2. No, that was 3 and 4. Now we're going into 1 and 2, and he's going to run the low line. So he's trying 2 different lines and 2 different turns there, Zach. Now, I don't know how that works, if that's a good thing, as we have another yellow out here, ladies and gentlemen.
I believe Cameron Gilmore in the 10 machine is going to be our driver that has went around for the 12th caution of the night, and this is going to be a common thing you see here. That happens a little bit in iRacing. Is you're going to see the 10 here. He's going to run this outer groove. He's going to have Brendan, I believe, Maddox right there in front of him. And sometimes it gets very tough when you're riding right up behind that driver. Not only are you getting the dirty air from the driver, but sometimes you'll have these instances, Bristol, where the driver in front of you gets in that wall, you bounce off the rear end, and what happens is you'd be surprised. You would think the car, a lot of times in iRacing, it would be the one that, Borbell, yeah, that was huge. Huge hit late into it, and that is
just
big damage.
He Borbelled him all right. Holy mackerel! What was
he bored
that?
right through him, that's for sure. That's the tough thing about this track. Things happen so fast. You can see he's up against the wall, and I don't know if Borbell ever seen him. It just never maybe clicked that he was up against that wall. Maybe he thought he was going to roll down, but he just stayed committed to that outside line, and unfortunately, that's what led to more of that contact. And our stage 1 winner also pulling it behind the wall, Dylan Yeager in the 42, so his night is over. So right now, some competitive cars pulling behind.
Yeah, Steven there, he's got a meatball flag. Do you believe his race is going to be over for the night, ladies and gentlemen, as we'll get back here live? As, man, I'm telling you that, we talked about it at the beginning, Zach. These guys got to start getting, points and get ready to make this playoff push race here. And some of these drivers here tonight is not the way they wanted to start, their next phase here to get into the playoffs, as we will be here with these guys here for the next 6 weeks here, ladies and gentlemen, here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. So we will be taking care of their next 6 races, me and Zach, and maybe every once in a while we'll find somebody to come up in the booth to help out. But we'll have to see how that all plays out. And then after 6 weeks, they go back to the following scheduled program, back over to Pit Stop TV, where they will take over for the playoffs and to the end of the season run. So it's going to be fun to see all the action here tonight and the next following couple weeks here, Zach, on kyfast Broadcasting, as we get the fans and everybody pumped up and ready to go into the playoffs. As these races wind down, we'll slowly get that eye on who's going to be in, who's going to be out, who's going to be fighting.
Definitely going to be wild scenes here. It's going to be the pace car pulling in as we're going to go back green flag racing here. Isaiah Sutherland leading the field. Green is out, and he's already down to turn one. Stallings, great start for him. He's going to take control of the second position, but it's going to be wrecking farther back. One driver sideways, and I believe he's going to be at the inside wall. That's Nicholas Ritter, but he keeps it straight. We stay green, but the 19 wrecks down into him.
What was that? He said, well, you're already into the wall. I'm just going to finish you.
That was that was a wrong place, wrong time here as Ritter's going to get back on the track. I think you're going to have the leaders here coming soon as this is going to be the replay. He's going to get into the outside wall, and then you're going to see right here in the background. The 19 loses off of 4, and he gets into him. So that is tough.
Odds of that? I mean, deja vu, baby. I'm just, I'm just going to finish you off. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say about that. As we are back live here, as we're watching now, we got Kyle Heath now trying to get around Isaiah Sutherland, and they're both running that low line. And I said earlier, Zach, at the beginning of tonight's event, that I do believe if you anything, these guys got to run the low line, save these tires. I just don't think that high line is where to go. It's fast, and you can see it. Dustin Stallings he's running up there. He's got the speed up there, but the question is how long will these tires last? So we'll have to see if Scott Fritz can work his way around that. Scott Fritz is also running the high line, but not as high as Dustin Stallings. Dustin Stallings going to jump down, try to make it 3 wide, and he's going to fall right in front of Keith. Oh my goodness, what a race we got going up here. That's Adam. We haven't talked much about him either, Zach. He's now up here in the top 5.
Lazio definitely making his climb towards the front up into the top 5. Got some of that damage maybe repaired. He's feeling a little bit better about that race car, but ahead of him is the battle. It was Heath and Stallings who were dueling there. The 00 makes a big slide job maneuver and kind of made contact to the nose of the 13. That could have been a disaster, but luckily both of those drivers keep it straight and gathered up. As right now Stallings resets back into the second position, Heath in third, as Sutherland leads the way. And again, Sutherland on an older set of tires than the rest of his field is they're going to have another caution out on the track.
It looks like
Jared Hughes, I believe, in a 60 or 98, is involved.
Oh no. Let's see. Oh, and they're still sitting. Oh, look out, ladies and gentlemen. We have the 55 sitting at the start-finish line.
That we do. It's definitely
Nicholas is. Let's see what happened. I think something happened to Nicholas here. That's on lap 104. Not sure where that yellow is, Zach.
Yeah, the 98 of I believe of the 98 Jared Hughes there. Sorry, folks. He got contact from the 3 Dakota camper that sent him around, and then that sent him into Matthew Shelby in the 46. And yeah, this is going to be right here where it does happen.
Oh, yeah, he comes around into Shelby, but then what happened to the 55 of Zachary? Oh, he tried to miss it, and he just went around spinning, which did good, but I don't know if anybody runs into him. Yeah, well, Shelby gives him a love tap, and now everybody's trying to get around the 55 that tried to miss the wreck, and he winded up in the wreck.
Unfortunate for those drivers to see Zachary Brandvold there in the Duracell machine as some drivers bring it to pit road and get their cars worked on and try to get those things fixed up. It looks like Sutherland, he's made a pit stop. So he pits again before the stage, gives up the stage points because he doesn't want to lose any track position when it comes to that stage. So, yeah, 5 laps from the stage, he says, I'm going down and I am going to take me a set of tires so I don't have to pit this next time. So interesting call, and I really like it. And also we had a question out in the chat from Tyler Dingler. He wanted a Sam Dyer update, and Sam was in the top 15 there. He just hit pit road, and I believe right now is in 22nd. So still on that lead lap, fighting the good fight. I believe actually last car on the lead lap. So Sam Dyer is still within a shot.
Hey, still within a shot, right? Gain every position you can here as he's trying to push his way into the playoffs. But yeah, I mean, Southern, like you said, Zach, I get the call. He's not worried about the stage points, which is very interesting. He don't care about the stage points tonight. He wants to be up in the front because he wants to win. Again, he's known as the Concrete King, and he wants to try to keep that going. And he has won every race we've been at this year on concrete, so he just wants to keep that streak going. So we'll have to see how this all plays out. As long as he doesn't get caught up into any carnage, being in the back there until we hit this next stage where everybody's going to have to come in and make a pit stop and he can leapfrog the field.
See how it all works out. Back under green flag races, Stallings leading the way, but not getting the best of restarts. Heath going to be completely alongside on the bottom. Can Kyle Heath take the lead? That was once his teammates, Isaiah Sutherland. Now Heath to the lead, but Stallings back to look to the inside. This is going to be a fight for a stage victory. Can Kyle Heath get the 10 points, or will the 00 Stallings or points there take them? But no, caution's going to be out, and that's going to end the stage there.
As Kyle Heath is going to get the stage win here tonight. Congratulations to him. As, like you said, we are back under a yellow, so I'm not sure where that came from. Maybe Richard? No.
I believe that is going to be Robert Mason Hossman.
Oh, again.
Sorry. Actually, again, farther up stuff that continues to trickle down. I believe Cody Dorsey is actually going to get contact from, I believe, the 62 at Dan stock area. As you can see, this happens back farther as Richard gets into the 78, but you see the 62 around there. That's because contact between Dan and I believe Cody Dorsey. So that was unfortunate. Is you can see the 62. He's gonna, I think, hit the wall, go down the racetrack from some contact from the car there, and then that shoots him up into there. So that was chain reaction if I've ever seen.
Yeah, and like you said, it's happening in front, and it's just trickling its way down, and guys ain't slowing down, or they just don't have time to slow down, and they're more worried about getting run over than hitting that guy. So yeah, this is interesting, but that would be your stage there, like you said, Zach. So good stage win for Kyle Heath, as we will not be able to talk to him as we don't have time, but here is going to be your stage winner here tonight. Kyle Heath is going to bring home stage number 2 and for the win, so congratulations to him. And all right, well, now everybody made a pit stop, everybody flipped. Southern's now up to 5th position. That worked out great for him, as you can see here. And then also it really worked out good for Cody Dorsey, Johnny Wood, and Rodney. All made their way back up to the front here, Zach. So some people playing some games here. As we're going to get ready to go back green here, lap 122 of 250 here tonight. And yeah, thank you everybody out there for tuning in. Got 27 people out there watching. Great people tuning in, watching us here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting with the BRB ButtKicker League, brought to you by a whole bunch of different sponsors, as we will get to them either sometime through this race, or we'll talk about them at the end of the race, because this is action-packed, and we're trying to keep up, and these yellow flags are short and sweet, and we don't have time. It's like 2 laps, and we're going back green.
That we are, Robert. It is very quick, and back to action is Osmer going to be now in the lead with the strategy. Nose damage on the front of that 15. A little bit older tires than the likes of Sutherland, but Wood Jr. on the outside. They're going to restart here with the green flag, and Jr. going to fight around the outside, but can he find the rear quarter panel? Yes, he does. Johnny Wood Jr. looking to get to the lead of this race, but Ronnie Osmeer trying to fight back with that damage. I don't think it's going to be enough. Give the lead over to Johnny Wood Jr.
Yeah, I was just ready to say, I don't know if that 15 has anything there with that front end damage. That's got to be hindering him just a little bit. And you can see there now, Woods did get around him and take over the lead here. And now we got Southern. We got Cody Dorsey having a great run. He's up here in third position, trying to look around that number 15 machine. And then you got the 27 of Christian Barnes back here. Where did he come from? He's now moved himself up to fourth position.
That he has. He's been kind of right outside that top 5, right in that top 10 area, but he has found his way into the top 5 for the first time tonight. Barnes is definitely finding his way forward in that 27 machine. He fights with the 9 machine of Dorsey there, who's also found his way towards the front of the field. Is Sutherland fights with Fritz even farther behind. So I think a lot of drivers here, maybe, Robert, we might see a little bit more calm action knowing that there's no stages left and this is a long run here. Maybe we'll see a few elect to save a little something in this part.
Well, that's it. Stage points are over. You got them, you got them. If you didn't get any, you didn't get any. And now it's time. We're down to the last. They got to make one pit stop. That we do know. They had 5 sets of tires. They started out with the 1 set on, so they had 4 sets of tires in pit road. As right now we're watching 3 wide back here as Cody Dorsey's starting to get trumped on there, Zach, and people are working around Cody on them old tires. I'm not sure what Cody has on his tires. It looks like, yeah, he's got 16 laps on his tires here compared to these guys that the 2 front guys have 16 laps too, but Cody Dorsey is just falling like a rock right now.
I also think Dorsey was involved in that incident that brought out the end of the stage, so he was the one that had a big slide after getting hit from the 62, so I believe that might have took some life from the tires there, as that slide definitely wore them out, as the 15 fights to hold on for second as Barnes looks to maybe find his way in quickly into the top 2. Sutherland, though, all over the back bit into that 27 is right now the 75 of Johnny Wood Jr. He has opened up probably the biggest lead we've seen all night.
Yeah, he's up to half a second, give or take here, as, yeah, he's opened up that lead right now, and you can see everybody's starting to get settled down as we got Adam there looking on the inside of Cody Dorsey, trying to work his way around here, as we got Brendan Maddox here in that 23 now, working his way up through the field here, running in 7th position. Carl Kruger is having a great run. He definitely needs a good run here to keep going. And then you got Jason Bottoms. Really great run up here in the top 12 right now. He's looking good. Nice and clean. He was caught up in a couple things, but car don't look too bad. He looks nice and clean so far with that NOS Energy drink machine there. Do they even sell NOS anymore?
I believe they do. I believe it's still in store. I'm pretty sure. That's a good question, Robert. I wouldn't know. I'm not much of an energy drink drinker. You know, I definitely I used to be in my younger days, but I feel like now I'm just a little grown too old. Maybe trying to save the heart for later too. You know,
save the heart.
Yeah,
what?
Yeah. Got to do that. You know, we got to last a long time here. That thing's got a timer on it. You know, you got to be
that's true.
Very careful what you put in there.
That's true. As I'm drinking an energy drink right now, which is perfectly fine, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, to each their own. Some people it affects differently. You know, that is the biggest thing. Yeah, you definitely can do different things. And now we check back here to our very own Sam Dyer. He's running back here in the 19th position again. Last car on the lead lap. But I feel like this is kind of Sam's MO. It's just ride back here, survive, save as much as he can, and hopefully maybe later steal a top 10, steal a top 15 out of this, and come out here with some decent points. As right now, we're watching the battling happen. This is some great action. This was our stage winner, Kyle Heath, back in 21st. It just shows you why Sutherland pitted from the lead 5 laps before. You win the stage, and then you have to pit. Guess what? Now you're back here in the mix of this, and this is definitely some of the most dangerous area on the track.
Yeah, but that too, and you know, this is the longest green flag run we had all night, Zach. As Evan got almost into the 78 there, Hausman, but yeah, wow, he almost got him, and we'll see if Kyle Heath can work his way down under. But what I was saying here is that, you know, you can see, this is the longest. Does he save it? Save it. And we are going to have a yellow.
Wow.
I did.
Nobody's gonna hit him, maybe.
I didn't jinx that.
Wasn't
me. No, wasn't me. No.
Folks, go ahead and put it in chat. Go ahead, blame Robert.
I did.
We were having the longest green flag run of the night, and Robert had to go and ruin it.
I had to ruin it. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Nah. That is the racing gods. It just happens, folks. We have no control or effect over it. Don't worry. I'm a firm believer.
Liar.
I know, right? As we've seen that wreck pretty much live. That was unfortunate to see for our stage 2 winner there, but definitely a tough time. But I think now that we're about halfway through this race, probably the only time we're going to get a chance since we had already seen the wreck. We're going to probably just go ahead and step aside for our one and only commercial break of the night here, folks. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in here at the BRB ButtKicker Cup Series. It's been a pleasure so far to provide this action, as we're going to be here for the next few weeks to give you all the racing action here live at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. So again, thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back in the next few moments. You ain't going to miss a thing. We are back here, folks. Just look at the battle on the screen. Scott Fritz trying to take the lead, and he will finally take it from Johnny Wood Jr., but it's Isaiah Sutherland. Oh, wrecking big.
Oh, Southern just lost it there, Zach.
Such a big collision to the outside wall, but somehow nobody else gets any hit out of that, I believe, other than maybe one car. No, they actually all get through it. So, yeah, Sutherland there off of turn number 4, Robert, here. He is going to be on the inside for the lead. And that, I think that's kind of like the reason this happened is he felt like maybe this was his opportunity. You see the two racing in front of him hard. He's going to catch up here. The 48 slides on the track. The door opens up. And right here, just a little loose off the exit. And it has to correct it. And that's back into the outside wall. And the 00 barely gets by.
I was just ready to say, Dustin. Oh, and the 95, Jason Bottoms just makes it by 2 there. As wow, that's you don't see much. Whoops, you don't see much of that with Southern.
Yeah, that was definitely one that I think caught him off guard, and it can happen quickly here. As you're going to see, he's going to be right here behind these drivers. This is going to be the best view you're going to get of what really happened. Look at that, the 48 trying to slide job the 75. That really checked them up. That allowed this 24 to get here. He gets to this inside line, and you're going to see around the exit. It's going to step out in the rear. He corrects it, but then when the front tires finally do grip up, it hooks him back right in front of that field, and that is the tough situation. You want to catch a slide when it's that, when it's stepping out on you like that, but once it's that far gone, it's tough to make it go all the way back around towards that outside.
Yeah, and that's something you don't see much from Southern. That's far from what you normally see. He's a pretty good, clean driver. I bet that caught him off guard, and I bet he's probably saying, what in the world just happened? It's like all of a sudden you just hit a patch of oil or just got into the gas too soon or had too much wheel into it. One of the two or both of them, and that's what caused him to lose that, rear grip, and off she went. But yeah, right now we got Scott Fritz here leading the race, having a great run for this gentleman here. We'll have to see if he can hold off Woods and everybody else that's up here. And Christian Barnes, also in 27, he's having a great run. Carl Pooler's bouncing back now up to 6th position. So we're looking down through the field here, Zach. Adam, he's having a great run. Who else is having a great run that we could give a shout out to here? Sam Dyer's up to almost top 20. Dan in the 62, after all the stuff, yeah, he is 6 laps down, but he's still out there running, trying to do what he can. And that's, that's what it's all about, trying to, get the laps in here. So we'll have to see how that, and unfortunately, it's looking like we got Nicholas Renner. Dylan Yeager is also out, and then we also got Stephen Borbell sitting in pit road, and then we also got Anderson in that 07. He is out as he is back clean, and Johnny Wood Jr. is going to leapfrog that 47 machine here, as it looks like he's taking the lead with Dustin Stallings falling right behind him, with Carl Pooler trying to work his way around the top.
Pooler definitely finding his way up towards the front. He needs a run like this to get him a little climb up to the points. The 71, loving what we see from him right now as he runs in the 6th position. But the 15 makes his way back into the top 5 as he's climbed his way a few times. But Johnny Wood Jr., that great restart that time, took the lead back from the 48, and now Stallings back into 2nd, who really, Stallings has been the driver I'd say that's had the most staying power of anybody when it comes to that top 5. He's going to be one to watch out for as the race closes out.
Yeah, Stallings is having a great run here too, and we got the battle going on back here. We got Brendan Maddox trying to go out his way. Braxton is trying to get his way around. Oh, as the 23 bounces off the 33, as they're just playing door banging with each other here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and that's what it is. Short track racing. Temperatures are going to fly, and it's going to be fun to watch as right now Adam there. Yeah, Buzzio Borbell, called him Borbell. Can you believe that? Adam is actually working his way up through the field.
Definitely finding their way through the field right now and doing a good job. Oh no, the 9 to Dorsey up the track and wrecking, and he takes out Rattail.
Oh, man. Okay.
Rattle was destroyed, I believe, in the 6. Andrew Rattle is just, I mean, that car got completely clobbered here, Robert. You're going to see here the 9. He's going to go off into the corner. Yeah, the 90 of Joshua Parent here also. I don't know if there was any contact hold or what was a little bit of contact. That's him down into the inside wall. And look here, the 6 of Andrew Rattle, nowhere to go for that number 6 machine, and it just clobbers the 9 as those two just come quickly together.
Yeah, Cody Dorsey unfortunately blew his motor. We'll go up here now and watch what happens to the 6. You can see, and nowhere to go. And boom, there goes Cody Dorsey, and there goes his motor too, unfortunately. No, his motor's still running.
Yeah, he's still got a motor, I believe, in his we're going to have 2 cars with a meatball right now. It looks like Dorsey and Wolsifer are the only 2 right now with meatballs that has mandatory repair damage on these cars, and they're going to have to sit in pit road and get them worked on. But with this, pit sequences happen, and look at this. Adam Buzzio shifts to our lead. So this is a really great sight to see for this 5 machine. He needs this to turn his season around and get the ball rolling in the right way.
Yeah, he does. His season didn't start out great. If you watch back on the Pit Stop TV at the beginning of the, season, Adam has had computer problems, mechanical problems, software problems, hardware problems, you name it. To the point, the guy went out and bought a new PC, and now he's in love, and everything's running smooth and great for him. He can stream now at the same time, so he's having a bounce back year, and to bounce back, to get himself back up to where he is right now, and also working his way into the playoff scenario here, Zach. And he's going to be a driver that will make it into the playoffs. He will find a way. Yeah, we'll have to see what the rest of the season holds for him, as we are now on lap 173 of 250 here. And these laps are slowly climbing down here, Zach. Slowly. These guys are running out of laps here.
That they are, and definitely the interesting thing, too, if anybody's taking note out here or a new viewer from a Freaky Fast to the BRB ButtKicker Cup Series, they do have a choose line. So when you get to the start-finish line, you get to choose which lane you pick. You go high after the start-finish line, you're in the high lane. You go low, you're in the low lane. So definitely interesting, with the grouping here. It's very cool to see is right now Buzzio taking that high lane. He's going to try to take advantage of the momentum. And right now the green flag is back out, and that inside lane just really jumped ahead. I don't know if the 5 was just at the wrong gear, but the 5 just didn't get going.
Yeah, I was just ready to say, but it also looked like that 90 squeezed the 5 on that start there. You can see him just drifting up the track a little bit. But yeah, Adam did not get that shoulder that he thought he would here, Zach. So, well, we'll see what the rest of this can play out for him, as he's still back here running in 4th position. So he's still got a chance to get somewhere.
Some fun action to watch here as Buzzy is going to try to find his way back to that lead position, but ahead of him, the 75, Johnny Wood Jr., and looks to take the attack to the 24 of Sutherland, who at one moment was bouncing off the inside wall into the outside wall. He's now still holding on to that car, and it's got a lot of left front damage, but he's still making speed. I can tell you what, there's not many clean race cars out here tonight, Robert.
Well, if you come home with a clean race car, I call that you're not racing.
Yep.
When it comes to Bristol, you're going to get beat up. You're going to get banged. You're going to hit the wall. As you see, Jason Bottoms there just bounced off the wall a little bit. And now we got a battle going on back here. Dustin Stallings trying to make it. As you can just see, these guys just scrape every turn, scraping the wall.
They are, these drivers all trying to find a way just to get forward and use any little bit of track they can. As you can see, the smoke flying off the wall. It's getting to go time here as we have now pressed into the point of 70 laps to go when we cross the line next time by, and that 70 laps will go by quickly. Remember the earlier stages, only 60 laps. Much of those stages were caution filled, and we were quickly past that point.
Yeah, it won't take long here, whereas we're showing still about 17 minutes left if they stay green here, Zach. about 17 minutes left of this race here, as we're on lap 182, like you said, of 250, and these are gonna click off fast. You know, you're going around here in the 14-second, 14.5, you know, times. But this will slow you down though when we do have yellows.
That we will. Yellow flag back out and underway. Is trying to see exactly where that played out, but it looks like the 6 here of Andrew slow, so we'll see what played out there, but I think much happened ahead of the 6s.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a big old cluster of cars, and believe it may have started around the 13 of Kyle. No, sorry, not Kyle Heath. It was Carl Pooler.
Oi.
Yeah, you're gonna wow.
Wow.
The hit from there from the other cars was immense. Pooler actually I think goes around off the nose of Stallings. They were battling inside the top 10, and from there Pooler, you know, locks it down and holds the brakes, and from there it just seems like the car's just slamming in there, just not getting slowed down. And
that 25,
that was a heavy hit from the 25 of Dakota Blay.
Yeah, he didn't have nowhere to go, unfortunately. Let's see if we can find him. Get right back here then. But yeah, let's see what he's seen here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh, and then he just got killed from the rear end. He got hit all the way around.
It is, yeah, heavy collision from multiple angles, and just a tough situation for a lot of these drivers. They're going to be coming to pit road, and you know the anger, the frustrations have got to be mounting for a few out there, and that is only going to lead to more probable yellows on the racetrack. Bristol is a place where anger can lead to issues.
And more yellows then.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You know, that's the problem here we're having here, as, you know, we'll look at a race report. We are up to 18 cautions, ladies and gentlemen, 69 laps under yellow. We had 21 lead changes at the line. Now, you got to remember that. It's at the line. And then also 115 laps of green flag. So, again, we had more green flag racing than we did caution. I mean, like you said, Zach, that's a good thing, I guess. Yeah,
this is, I mean, personally, I feel like it could be a lot worse. I know that's going to sound crazy. People are going to be like, wow, I mean, there's a lot of cautions, but I have seen Bristol races. I have seen Martinsville. I've seen tracks like this that it is literally 25 to 30 cautions. So I don't know if we'll get to that point. I mean, it is still possible we reach those not 30 in my opinion, but 25 is definitely possible. But I think these guys have done a good job the last few restarts to keep a few green flag laps, but the green flag is back out, and Joshua Parent is going to try to take advantage of the lead, but it's going to be Johnny Wood Jr. taking the lead position and taking control of the race.
Well, right now, from watching what we've seen in practice and in qualifying, Johnny Wood Jr. looks like he should have the fastest car, you know, of the race here, from what we've seen, you know, on lap times and just racing here. But we'll have to see if somebody else behind him can actually, you know, catch up to him or give him something, you know, to try to rattle his cage a little bit here, as we are still side by side, and time is running down here as we're watching Scott Fritz. We do got 33. We have to give him a shout out.
The 48 into the unsaid wall. Hard contact for Scott Fritz as he was shot out of a cannon down in there, and there's also other cars wrecking. We may be seeing the yellow here quickly. We stay green. Sutherland was also wrecked in that. So Fritz and Sutherland, heavy damage for Fritz, but Sutherland, I think, just got loose. We'll see what happened here to Fritz, Robert. He's going to come off the corner here, and I believe he might just step out sideways and lose this race car. And from there, look, lose down the racetrack, and look at his hit. Boom. Heavy collision, and a great job. He locked it up. Somehow he stayed yellow, green free, and look at that. Sutherland tries to squeeze by, and unfortunately it was contact that catches him out this time around.
Yeah, it caught him off guard. As we watch here, you'll be able to see the wreck happen in front of him, and he tried to avoid it, but there was nothing he could do here. You can see right here, he's slowing down. Oh, and right into Jared Hughes he goes, and unfortunately Jared goes around. He goes around, but they both save it and stay green.
How we do stay green for the time being is Johnny Wood Jr. holding on to that lead position. Joshua Parent under attack as Christian Barnes in the 27 machine trying to find his way into the top two. Braxton Skinner from 32nd starting position. He's up into the top four. And our pole sitter, Mason Hossman, he's made a return. He's trying to fight his way into the top four as he's fighting with Braxton Skinner ahead right here of our point sitter, Dustin Stallings. So multiple drivers with shots here and opportunities to come to the end of this race to get a victory.
We'll have to see here as the time's running down here. The laps are slowly going away. But yeah, Zach, I mean, great run by Braxton Skinner here in that 33. Seeing him up here in the top four, making the top five. Hopefully he can, finish this race here tonight, with some good stage points he got. Just finish the race would be key for this 33 machine. He's had a half-decent season, but, he's got the speed. He just has got to get a better luck is what he's running into.
No doubt, definitely got to find some better luck. I think a lot of drivers are looking for that. I know how that can be sometimes in this sim. Luck, it is not an easy thing to acquire, but Hossman up to fourth, Skinner back to fifth, and now Stallings. He'll be looking to maybe take a charge here to get up into the top five as we continue on green for the time being. Wood Jr. still out in the lead ahead of Parent and Barnes, but this race, putting a few green flag laps down, we're going to be here 50 to go here this next time by.
50 to go here, ladies and gentlemen, as that last yellow that we had, Dakota unfortunately got a meatball. We got Richard Wolferser sitting in pit road right now with a meatball. And we also got Caitlin there in the 19 machine. He's got a meatball flag. And then you got a Cody Dorsey and Brandon in that one. Unfortunately, he's got black flags. They're both sitting in pit road too. So that's what happened in the back of the pack as we are still watching as...
caution's out.
Caution is out.
Coulter Clark, I believe, in the 54 machine. Here's going to bring out this yellow as you see him get back going in the pit stop TV machine. See there, that was Sutherland. I believe that was the incident previous with Sutherland that got him loose, but I believe the contact may have been 54 and the 30. I believe it's Sam Dyer. Sam Dyer was involved in this one here. As I believe the 54 and him came together here. As you're going to see, I don't know if Coulter Clark just didn't realize that Sam was there. Maybe didn't think he was going to get there, but kind of cut across him. And unfortunate contact was made that sent the 54 spinning, and yellow flag is back out.
Yeah, you can see it looked like he just came down as we can watch here. He's got damage in that rear end, unfortunately, but we can watch here as you see. And yeah, he just came down a little bit, and unfortunately Sam was there, and no harm, no foul. I mean, he didn't hit nothing, but, it did bring out that yellow flag. Now, the question is do you pit right now, Zach? And can you make it on fuel from here?
Definitely make it on fuel. Fuel is no issue. I think a lot of these guys already no concerns with that. I think the biggest thing is, do you want to take your last, do you want to take the tires and be in position here to go all the way to the end? I think that's why you've seen a good portion of this field not pit. It looks like our five are going to stay out, and then from 6 on back will pit. So, yeah, actually a good portion will pit. So reverse that statement of a good portion staying out. This is going to be interesting, Robert, because now, in my opinion, if you're like a Hossman or a Stallings, you're probably going to stay out to the end of this race from this point. The question is, if we get a long enough green flag run, will that be an issue for them because the tires will just be that much more worn?
Yeah, we'll have to see. Good question. Yeah, I don't know. That's the problem that we're going to be having up in the booth for the next couple of weeks is exactly what do these tires do? Like you said, that heat cycle, Zach, cooling off, heating up, cooling off with all the yellows. We don't personally know what to tell the audience because we just don't know what these tires are doing right now until we talk to these guys and get a little bit more feedback and a little bit more information to put into our log of brain and knowing what these tires are going to do in the future when we come to tracks like this. So we'll have to see what Everybody's just gonna have to wait and find out as much as we would like to tell them. But we're back green flag racing here, and we'll see if we can keep this green, Zach, until the end here on lap 207 of 250, ladies and gentlemen.
And we will. We'll see Johnny Wood Jr. holding on to that lead. Adam Buzzio quickly up to third, and yellow flag immediately going to come out here. And I'm unsure exactly what car that was for. We're going to go back and try to find out. I actually cannot find a race car spun around there, Robert, for the first time tonight.
Well, my data's not telling me who spun out, so I have no clue.
Yeah, it looks like we may not have a clue on this one. So unfortunate for whoever did go around. Sorry for that driver. And yellow flag is back out. I mean, under this yellow, I guess this is a good time. Even we can give a little shout out to the sponsors that help make it happen here at the ButtKicker Cup Series. And first off, let's start off with the title sponsor, ButtKicker. I mean, you sure all have heard it. If you haven't, make sure you head on over to thebuttkicker.com. Remember to add the in there. And remember, ButtKicker is haptic hardware and software that delivers the most accurate and highest fidelity in sim racing to the tactile feedback possible via the game audio and telemetry data. So I've had a ButtKicker myself. Definitely want to go check it out. It will add a lot to your sim, and definitely a huge shout out to them for being a huge supporter here at the BRB ButtKicker Cup Series. Also, definitely want to give a shout to RevSimShop.com. SimShop is the place to get your custom paints, button boxes, and pro race control services. You can check out their button box, the Lucky 13 button box, and check that out again at www.revsimshop.com, as they're a proud sponsor here. Also, we got Maddox Graphics. As Maddox Graphics, they have their passion that lies in the art of visual storytelling through premium screen graphics, print graphics, and tailored iRacing paint schemes. Their skilled team specializes in creating designs that are not only captivating, but also resonate with the iRacing community, or resonating. Every detail reflects your unique identity on the virtual track. So again, go check them out at www.maddoxgraphics.com and see what they have in store for you there when it comes to graphics. And then last but not least, let's give a shout to Performance Food Group. Performance Food Group delivers more than 300,000 food and related products to customers across the United States and Canada, but that's not all. They build long-lasting relationships with their customers, doing everything they can to ensure success. At Performance Food Service, we are committed to our customer success, whether you're a mom and pop shop, a multi-store franchise, or a mission is to make the business easy and smart and profitable for your customers. So check out Performance Food Group and the amazing sponsors here at the BRB ButtKicker Cup Series.
All right, well, thank you to all them sponsors here to make this possible here tonight. Like you said, Zach, at the BRB Racing League, as we're getting ready to go back green flag racing here on lap 212 of 250. And green, off we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Great start from Johnny Wood Jr. there. He is shot out of a cannon, able to take the lead, control it from Christian Barnes. But Hausman is the driver to watch. Fresh tires for the 78. He's up the third. Our pole setter quickly gaining on our top two.
Yeah, he's gaining. He's got the freshest tires, like you said, and if he runs that low line, keeps that car clean, as we do got Adam back here fighting with Dustin Stallings right now, trying to get around, and now he's still got Southern after that big wreck that he was in there, Zach, and he moved his way. Wow, he's well up to sixth position.
That is. Sutherland definitely hard fighting all night long for them. It was close. Contact back here, the three machine Dakota Camper race up with the 23. Brandon Maddox up into the wall, and this right here might slow the the 23 up enough, and we might get some contact from farther behind. But the 33 of Braxton Skinner, good job to check up there and let the 23 get back going. Here comes Sam Dyer also into the picture. This is all a battle inside the top 14.
Yeah, and that's about the running position at the end of the race.
Battle for the lead, Robert.
We got a battle for the lead here, ladies and gentlemen, as we get up here. Johnny Woods and also Christian Barnes. Christian's going to take over the lead. Wow, did he just power right by Mason and Johnny Wood? Actually, Johnny there is losing spots here on his older tires. It's not looking too good.
Definitely looking to be the Hausman who has those fresher tires on the car to be able to take advantage of them. But I tell you what, though, Christian Barnes, like you said, he has done a great job. I thought that was the battle for lead. He is the leader, and he's on the old tires such as Johnny Wood Jr. So he was able to really just take off from this car and really put a gap. So that tells me he was possibly conserving a good little bit and doing a good job of keeping those tires underneath him. So right now, Barnes in position, but Hausman, our pole setter, who dropped back immediately as the green flag opened up, he's looking to come out here and possibly win it late in the race.
Well, we'll see if he can come out, like you said. But also, Zach, you know, with Barnes being up front, clean air, I've heard clean air is a big thing here, too. So I'm not sure if you know if the dirty air has changed in these cars. As we can see, Mason in a number 78 machine, he's trying to work the high line, and I think he's starting to pick it up as we're getting down to about 25 laps to go as he's going to battle for the lead.
Hausman to the inside here, battle for the race lead. It is on now here, lap 222 of 250. Hausman in the fresh tires, Barnes on the older set of tires. Can the 27 hold him back? He was trying to utilize the air, trying to take away the lines, but it was not enough. The 78 had the speed, the momentum to get to the inside, but the 27 has had enough to fight him back and make him have to reload and figure out how he's going to find another way around, as the 27 looks now to be just covering that outside line. He saw the run that Hausman had, and he said, you know what, I have to move up here and protect this.
Yeah, he moved up and protect it, and he's also throwing that dirty air right on that 78 machine too here. As you can see, now he's going to stay low, and that dirty air's got to be playing a factor some way, somehow, some shape or form, as now the Barnes is going to go low. He's going to open up the door. No, he's going to do the slide job block, the 78, and I'm not sure if Hausman enjoyed that or not, but bumping is rubbing, and we're going to find out as now he's going to look down on the low line with about 24 laps to go.
Oh,
no! Oh, no, the leader's wrecked.
And just like that, it shows you Bristol. You can go from battling for the lead to wrecked and out of contention. We'll see where it lines them back up, but definitely big move being made by Hausman there, and I think it was just a slight bit of contact right on the exit of the corner that may have shoved this 27 into really a point where he just couldn't exit without hitting the wall. It seems like a lot of times we're seeing it with this new aero package, the closer you get to the door of the driver that you're around, the more aero tight that both the cars get. So definitely a situation where I think that happened. As you can see there, 27 definitely kind of cutting the 77's run and closing that door aggressively with some contact to the wall. The 78 says, you know what, I need to get this done quickly. He goes to the inside here, washes up the track, and you're going to see here slightly, not really any contact, but I think more than anything, it's the arrow that comes off the side of these cars that shoots the 27 up into the wall. That bounces them down into the 78, and from there you go from battling for the race win to now in an incident just before the blink of your eyes.
Yeah, and we seen that also with the 48 too, didn't we too? Not the 48, yeah, the 48, and also who else is the 42? Dylan there. Unfortunately, he's got back in 33rd position, done for the night. So we seen that happen, not exactly that way, but yeah, I mean, that dirty air. And I was going to get to that, Zach, with you as we were watching these guys go around. It looked like Barnes was using that dirty air to do something there with Woods, and I don't know if that played any factor. Is dirty air a big thing with these cars now?
Definitely very much a stronger factor. I feel like dirty air is way more of a factor than it used to be. Also, just overall increase of the aero effects off the car. We even have such now a little bit of a slight effect of, like I said, when you get side by side, you get a little aero tight. You get the air taken off the side of the car, and it really will take a good chunk of downforce away from that car and really just make it want to go up the racetrack. So you're going to see a lot of times when these cars get side by side with this new update, that car on the inside is going to have a tough time have a tough time keeping it on the bottom and not washing up. And then as they wash up, it's almost going to shoot that car above them up the racetrack too as they get closer. So it is a very strong force, and it is something I think a lot of drivers are going to learn how to use very valuable here as we get farther into the seasons and they learn more about these aero blocking games that you can play and the use of side-by-side racing to affect your competition's handling.
Yeah, so you can use it as a blocking point or use it as you're cheating to not let the other person by. Yeah, that's what I'm going to call it. You're cheating using air. As we are back, green, 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 ladies and gentlemen. We are back going down into turn 1, and then hang on.
Definitely close. There's the 90 look to close the door. I think he noticed that the 75 was going to be there. And look at this Dakota camper out of nowhere. He's been in the back, near the back all night. He's now up in the mix here to battle for it. He has now gotten up in the top 2. Sutherland up the 4th. Stallings is also battling for a top 5 as we've had pit stops happen this last time by. There's going to be a lot of mix-ups here.
Yeah, a lot of mix-up, fresh tires with 19 laps to go, and these guys are not going to give up here as we've got Southern back here looking maybe 2 wide, look 3 wide. Got Arrow, we got Dustin Stallings blocking, and we got Jason Bottoms yet. Great run for that 95 machine. He is up to 6th position. What a best run that he had in tonight's, and unfortunately, oh no! I did not say a word.
Robert, we're going to have to stop talking about drivers because that right there, if any, was the commentator curse tonight. Unfortunate for Bottoms is he's got a broken front end too. He's not going to be able to get that car around. Yeah, he's going to have to tow. So tough for Jason Bottoms. I mean, he was having a great night. He was literally, he started 16th and he got in the top 10 early, and it was pretty much anywhere from 6th to 10th all night for him. He had been really doing a great job of keeping that car right in that area. And you're going to see here, it's just a slight mistake. Touches that wall, gets a little too high on the exit. That bounces him off into the inside wall. And from there, broken suspension as he can't get that car back turned around to get back going.
Yeah, unfortunately. And also an update, Mason in his number 78 has been DQ'd from the race here, Zach, meaning he got 2 incidents, and if you get 2 incidents and your call's 2 yellows and it's your fault, you get DQ'd by rule of here at BRB Racing League. So unfortunately, he got the first DQ of the year for himself, and couldn't tell you when the last time he got one, and that might be his only one that he got so far since that rule's been put in place.
Definitely a situation that you don't want to be, causing those 2 incidents so you can get that DQ. It's definitely a huge factor, especially at a place like Bristol here. You have to be on your P's and Q's and be very, very respectful to your competition. And unfortunately, Hausman, our pole setter, seems to be involved in 2 of those incidents, and being at fault for those 2 incidents found by race control will be out of this race. But this sets up a wild scenario. Camper has somehow found his way into the top 3. Wood Jr. in 3rd. And Joshua Parent, we got to think about this. He is on an older set of tires. He is a pit. He's got 33 laps on his tires. These other drivers, about 9 laps since they last pit. So this is a mixed bag of strategy. And I think if you're the 90, you ain't coming down pit road no more tonight. This is it. You made your bed. You're staying out here, and you're going to live with what you got. If anything, he's just hoping maybe he gets some good restarts here and maybe a quick yellow to shorten the amount of laps here. I think that would help the 90's case, but we'll just have to see. I mean, this is going to be very much some close racing down to the end. Even Sutherland up here with the damage he has, he's in a possible chance to go up here and fight for victory. Our points leader, Dustin Stallings, plenty of new drivers here, and we'll see if we can get a new victor here, as our front row would be a driver with a new victory.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that all plays out here, as we also got, like you said, Dakota Camper really needs a great run here. His season's been dismal so far for that driver, and we'll see how it goes as Joshua Parent now is going to take off. And I bet you 10-1 with 12 laps to go, Zach. He's going to look low. He's going to take it down to Johnny Wood, not let him by. We also got Camper and Southern back here beating and banging. And we'll have to see how this all plays out, ladies and gentlemen, as the Camper is now, oh no!
And he's going back up the track, him and Southern in a huge collision. The 6 involved multiple others. And you see Buzzio, he's just trying to find his way around the carnage as it was mayhem.
Wow.
There is the 3. He lost it there almost the lap before, then loses it again. And unfortunately, I think takes his teammate with him.
Yeah, we'll have to see here as the start. You can see, he got loose a little bit. Oh, he cuts down in the Southern. And they are teammates, and then he has to watch out and then see what happens again. Oh, I don't know if he came up or came down. Race control's going to have to figure that out. But, the 6 just got demolished again.
There's been definitely a few drivers who are going to be seeing the chiropractor virtually after tonight because there's been some big hits and collisions for sure that have transpired. But right now, Parent in control still of this.
Yeah.
Johnny Wood Jr. in second and Stallings in third. I mean, if you're Joshua Parent, you're loving this situation. This is just shortening the laps here. And if anything, he's just going to have clean restarts here if he wants to pull this race victory off. I mean, what the question is, what is the competition going to do to stop that? You know, that is going to be the huge thing. Is there going to be contact made? Is there going to be a better restart? I mean, we've seen sometimes tonight that driver in second has timed the restart well enough to be right alongside going into turn one. So we are definitely not over when it comes for the race for the win. But I tell you what, Joshua Parent definitely, I think, liking the situation, being on older tires and having a shorter run.
Yes. Well, yeah. I mean, 39 laps on his tires. I mean, this is all working out, right? Like you said, Zach. He ain't gonna pit, and we're gonna have to see if he can just hold off the field. Is going to be the question. I don't know if he's going to be able to. I do believe we're going to go back with what, 6 laps to go, maybe 7 laps to go here, as the lights are off. So yeah, we're getting ready to go green here.
Should be 6.
6 laps. 6 laps to go. Okay, lights are not off. Do apologize for that. Yeah, so 6 laps to go. Yeah, I think he's in a prime position. Do you start on the top though, or do you start on the bottom? Is going to be the question. As it looks like he's taking the top.
Yeah, I think you start on the top, and you can see the first 3 cars all line up on the top. The 33 of Braxton goes all the way from about 4th to 5th up to the front row. So that shows you just how much the choose line can be a huge factor in these restarts. But the top 3 going to elect to take that outside, and that allows some of these other drivers to get an opportunity. Look at the 81 of Evan Patenko. He's up there for the first time tonight. The 90 of Jared Hughes. He's making a charge up here, but it's going to be the 90. Joshua Parent in control. Pace cars off the track, and we're back green flag racing, and that restart was timed well. The 33 able to stay alongside. Can he fight past the 90?
Oh, that would be win. Oh, yeah, and he's going to get into him, beating and rubbing and banging, and the 33 saying, oh, my God, I have a chance for a win. This would be awesome for him as, oh, no, Evans looks like he's going to go around as looks like we're staying. Yeah, I was just ready to say we're staying green here, Zach, with 5 laps to go.
Here we go, down into 3 and 4. It's going to be 4 to go when they cross the line. Parent trying to open up the gap. Johnny Wood Jr. a little fresher tires. He was trying to find the way around the outside, but Joshua Parent said, no, sir, I'm taking away your air, and he is looking to take away here and drive away to his first victory of the season.
Wouldn't that be something? First victory of the season, and he was should have been in top 5s a couple races ago, too, and unfortunately got into some carnage, but 3 laps to go. He's using the dirty air. The 75's trying to send it, and he is gaining on him every turn, but I just don't think it's going to be enough here to go, and we're going to find out. Joshua cannot get into that wall there, Zach, as he's opening up the bottom lane for Johnny Wood.
Here we go. Tires are heating up. Those older tires might be showing their ages. We're going to be getting a white flag. 1 lap to go here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Side by side down into 1 and 2. It is a dead even heat off of 2. Down the back straightaway. What does the 75 do? Does he drive it off of 2 forward, put him in the wall? But he has the momentum.
Oh,
the 30's coming. But it's Wood Jr. who wins the race.
Wow. And the 90 said, I'm just going to full send it, baby. And he did.
They definitely both went for that, and I tell you what, Wood Jr. fought for that one. He pulled it off. Parent in the second. Stallings, our points leader, pulls off 3rd. Braxton Skinner 4th, and rounding our top 5 somehow is Coulter Clark after somehow finding his way, making it through the carnage.
What a run. And now he's going to put it into the wall, and I guess there's going to be no celebration, but...
Well, Johnny Wood Jr.
That's right. Sorry, I was watching the wrong car. I got so excited I forgot who won. It's all right. Well, never mind. Johnny Wood Jr. in that 75 limited. I cannot speak for tonight.
Limitless.
Thank you. I am just tongue-tied tonight. It's called being nervous. But congratulations to Johnny there. What a win! What a win here tonight. Hard-fought battle here tonight with everybody. So, but with that being said, we're going to let everybody celebrate, and we're going to get ready, and we will be right back once we get our top 3, and we'll see about maybe getting a driver else in here. Shout out of the day driver or whatever we call it. I haven't been in the booth for years.
It's all good there. As like Robert said, we'll step aside and we'll go do our post race, and we'll be right back here with some of your favorite drivers. All right, we're back here, folks, from Freaky Fast Broadcasting in the Bristol Motor Speedway with the BRB ButtKicker Cup Series. As we just closed out a titanic battle there at the end of this thing, and what a job it was. The 75 was able to pull it off. Johnny Wood Jr. getting his first victory this season. We're going to go ahead and pull him on up to the booth and have a chat with him about his first victory of this season after a colossal, amazing battle there. So, Johnny, is Zach up in the booth? You got a copy?
I got you.
Well, man, what a great job. Yeah, we got you loud and clear, man, there. And great job there pulling off that victory. Take us through the battle there at the end, because you definitely had to go full send there at the end to be able to pull that one off. And just by the hair of your teeth were able to win the night.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a long shot there at the end attempt. Props to Carl for telling me to pit when I did to get those fresh tires for the end. And then obviously we kind of worked out in front behind Parrott, which we were racing earlier. And then I kind of realized that he was backing his entry up on the high line, so I started trying that as well. About, I don't know, 5 laps to go to the end, and it kind of gained a little bit on him. And then he kind of hit the wall a few times, and when I got closer and closer, and I was like, oh, let me try to jump down on the bottom and offset it, and maybe get beside him and try to get something working here, because if not, I'm gonna finish second, and I would gain, I don't know, I would get past him at the center, but I wouldn't quite clear him off the corner respectfully, and then it just slowly worked its way to, on the very last lap, to just clear him barely off the corner and just take it, so I think there might have been a tad bit of net cut at the end, but he definitely had a run. He was going to hit me either way.
Definitely was a wild in there, man. Congrats again, Johnny, on getting your first victory of the season. It was a hard fought one tonight because of all the cautions. I mean, take us through that. I mean, staying on top of that with all the different strategies, guys on different tires, just having all these restarts. How do you stay on top of that throughout the whole race?
Yeah, I mean, with the situations like this, I kind of learned from Martinsville 2 seasons ago that track position is just like king. So I mean, I left there with like 35 seconds of damage, and I was like, screw fixing it. Like, just get track position and stay up front and stretch the tire life as much as you can. And if you had to take, I never took 2, but if you have to take 2, take it just to get track position. Because 5 laps you got a caution, 5 laps you got a caution, 5 laps you got, so.
Definitely a tough situation to be in as a driver, but you definitely played it very well and kept the track position, like you said, all throughout the night. And, this is your first victory of the season. So how does that feel? This is the 6th race in. How do you feel about getting that victory?
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, I had had a big mess up on Texas, rubbing the paint off of Isaiah's nose, kind of killing myself on that one, and then missing Iowa. I was on vacation, so this will definitely help the point situation. Hopefully it'll jump up a couple spots, and we can go on and try to take the championship this year. Hopefully we finished second 2 years ago, or 2 seasons ago, and then kind of was tracking to finish second again until I was like, screw it. So we're going to try to win it this year.
Well, Johnny, I tell you what, it was a very good run tonight from yourself. Definitely a performance that bodes well for a championship later in the season. Before we let you get out of here and go celebrate this victory, though, anybody want to send a shout out to?
Yeah, shout out my dad. He's always watching. And then my 2 cousins, Justin and Rhett. So free Rhett.
Well, there you heard it from Johnny, folks. Congrats on the win, Johnny. You go celebrate this thing, man, and we'll catch you next week out here at the BRB ButtKicker Cup Series.
Appreciate it.
All right, folks, you heard there from your race winner tonight. First victory of the season for him, and definitely you can hear that he was definitely excited about that victory. But we're going to move on to second place now. The driver that he was beating and banging with coming down to the line, that was the 90, Joshua Parrott. Joshua, is Zach up in the booth? You got a copy?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing great, man. Well, I tell you what a run for yourself tonight. Coming in here 35th in points tonight. I mean, I know you didn't get the victory, so that had this thing a little bit there, coming down to the white flag. But take us through it, because this is definitely an excellent run for you here tonight.
Oh yeah, dude, 35th in points, but after before I think Coda, or before the race before that, I had like the 4th best average running position. I just have the worst possible luck, I think. But I, for whatever reason, with the way pit road was, because I pit on the back, I would lose like 7 or 8 spots to anyone who pit on the front that I was around. So I had to stay out, and I was on I think 10 or 11 lap older tires, whatever it was. and I just got tight. But I was really good on the long run. That's what I was hoping for. That's actually when I was catching the 75 on that first, like before we had stayed out. I was catching him. Just I could. The diamond on the high side was super super good. But then, yeah, right at the end, literally the last probably 2 laps, I just got super super tight, and it just cost me. But I'll take a second. That's gonna help. I also got stage points, so.
Definitely a great job by you there to hold on with those older tires, like you said. With the issues on pit road, there not being able to keep the spots where you were located on pit road. I mean, with how many cautions we had tonight, and having to include that pit road, loss of pit spots. How did you play tonight's race? Because you definitely had to play strategy to get where you at.
The first stage I flipped because we did it at Iowa, I believe, earlier, and I was just thinking like I had pit in the middle of it because I knew we had like 2 or 3 extra sets of tires. So I pit in the middle of that first stage, seeing how much of an advantage I would have. I only got about 8 or 9 of the spots back. Just because if you run the bottom, it's really hard to pass anyone on the high side without a super big advantage. So I decided to flip the stage, and then me and the 24 just ran up front that entire second stage. Then I had a bad restart, and I ended up finishing, I think, third. But that's how that happened. It just flipped the stage just because I knew the more cars were on track. I just figured that's more chances of wrecking. Some really good cars got taken out, and that obviously helped us out a little bit. I think that we were definitely up there, but I mean, you never really know. A bunch of people just got kind of sent out of the race, and then after that, it was just trying to maintain position. I would gain a lot. I ran up in the front pretty much the entire last part of that, and that was running really well on the bottom. And then once the bottom got tight, you just moved up, and then I found a way to kind of drag it, the brake, and diamond that high side, and just get a pretty much straight launch off of out of the exits, and that's where I think I had my advantage. But just it was racing. It was fun though. Johnny raced me super clean that entire time. I respect that. There's plenty of times that I ran middle to try to get him tight on the bottom that he could have just drove up into me, but he didn't. So
definitely excellent racing between you two, man. Congrats on the excellent run here tonight, Joshua. You definitely showed how strong you were, like you said, on the longer runs and on the older tires at the end. So definitely something to go into these next few weeks, especially with this new update. So how does that coming into factor? How do you feel with that?
this was the first time I've sat in my sim since the update. This is the first time I work so much. I only get to get on my sim on Tuesday nights. I think I had like around 30 minutes of practice tonight, so I don't get to do any of the practice races or anything. I go in a little blind. But I hope that it's good. It seemed nice here. The cars were definitely more like race cars than they were before, if that makes sense. It definitely drives a lot like more in your hands than before. Like before, if you stepped over the limit just a little bit, you were gone. It was a little bit like that tonight, but it was more on cold tires. Throughout the race, you could really lean on the edge and still be pretty okay. So that was really nice. Real quick, I want to thank Whiplash, who's and Andrew, who's the team owner, and then my friend Zach, who's I'm driving his 90 car. He's been one of my best friends for 10 or 11 years now. So I want to thank them for getting me in here and putting the sponsors on my car and everything.
Definitely always got to shout them out. And before we let you go, Joshua, anybody else you want to send a shout out to tonight?
My girlfriend for dealing with me. I was just yelling during that race.
Completely understand that, man. You have a wonderful night there, Joshua, and hopefully this good luck will turn around, or this luck will turn around for you, and we'll see you up front through these next few weeks.
Sounds good. Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, that was your second place driver tonight at the 90, Joshua Parent. But now we're going to move on to the driver who came in our points leader tonight, the 00 of Dustin Stallings. Dustin is Zach up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, sure. I got you.
Hey, man, well, I tell you what, you were definitely one of the drivers who kept yourself in the top 5, top 10 for majority of the night. One of the more cars that kind of kept that average running position up. How was it trying to stay ahead of the strategy and everything that was going on with all the yellows?
Honestly, a lot. Because especially with the new tire model and everything and the updates that they had with these cars, that was quite a learning curve. But with all the practice and stuff, I got more comfortable with it. But I didn't really know what to expect going into tonight. I kind of knew that it was going to be kind of a caution field race. And as far as the strategy, just trying to keep the average running position there is just trying to kind of pit in with some of these guys that's typically up front and finish up front. The stages were kind of also a big thing for me too, but just kind of avoiding the chaos. I know there was one incident that I threaded the needle, have no idea how I made it through it, but other than that, I didn't really have many issues with anybody. I know that netcode incident with Carl there, I can't remember what part of the third stage it was, but felt like I had a good chunk of space between us, and I'm not sure. I hadn't looked at it yet, but I know Rev called a netcode, but hate it for that. But yeah, it's just trying to go off of what these other guys are doing and just hoping for the best and just putting myself in good positions to avoid stuff.
Well, you definitely did a great job of that, Dustin. I mean, you came in here even the points leader tonight. Like you said, you got some great stage points, and that's one thing we noticed. Even that, you definitely have some of the most stage points out there of anybody. So, how well have you judged your season so far? Because it's definitely been very consistent.
I would agree with it being consistent. I feel like I've come into this season with a better mindset than the previous seasons. Last season I had speed, but struggled with stage points, and in between the seasons I kind of made a plan or a goal to myself that I need to get better with stage points because that was my weak point last season. But just having a good mindset and just choosing when to kind of push a little bit, be a little aggressive, and then also knowing when to kind of just be patient and not really force any issues.
Well, it definitely played out well for you here tonight. You brought up the update also, Dustin. How are you feeling with the update so far, and how do you think it's going to affect coming into the next few weeks?
I'm still trying to get used to it, but after tonight, I kind of wish we got longer runs than what we did get tonight, just to kind of get a better idea. But especially with everybody else on track, it's different comparing like being on track by yourself and just testing, and then being on a track full of cars because you got like the dirty air and everything. Like the aero feels different. The dirty air to me, there's been moments where it's a little bit more extravagant than it has been in the past. But the tires is one thing that's different. I still got to work on trying to get that kind of figured out and dialed in on how I can use that on just knowing whether to push or not. But just I kind of noticed some of the guys that are typically up front that are pretty good with saving their stuff. They were still up front, and also noticed a couple other guys that actually had good races tonight that were up front, like Josh. And then I think Braxton finished fourth, Clark fifth. I mean, some new faces up here, and it was fun to see. So it's very interested to see what it's going to do for the rest of the season.
Yeah, we definitely are also very interested up here in the booth as well, Dustin, man. But congrats on an excellent run here tonight in third place. Before we let you get out of here, though, and go celebrate this, anybody want to send a shout out to, Dustin?
I got to give a shout out to Johnny there for that win. I was kind of waiting for them guys to get together and kind of see if I can scoot by them, but that damage car sitting in the middle of the track in that last caution, I didn't see it until the last second and put the right front in the fence pretty hard and just had wheel damage. So I just held on to it and finished third. Super proud of Braxton and Clark. Those guys, they've been working their butts off, and they actually put a good finish together. I'm sure that's going to be good for confidence for those guys. And then just shout out to all the admins, all those guys, everything that they do to make this league go. All the sponsors, partners, you guys are freaky fast, and also Pit Stop TV as well. And also our race control Rev, he does a really good job with trying to make calls on all the incidents, especially with how quick some of these cautions go by. And most importantly, my team, we just kind of been gelling together, kind of getting ideas off of each other as far as strategies and then just different lines and stuff and what to do. And it's been working out pretty well. I hate that Mason's race didn't really go as well as he intended. Glad to be racing with him on track. And we don't see him as much on the track with all he's got going on. But then also give a shout out to my wife and my 2 daughters. I love them to death. And also my family, my dad and my mom. And then also got to give a shout out to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And that being said, that's about it. I appreciate you guys.
Well, we appreciate you too, Dustin. Thank you for the kind words, and we'll catch you out there on the racetrack next week, man. And congrats on your 3rd place finish.
Thank you, sir.
All right, folks, you heard it there. That was your 3rd place driver tonight, Dustin Stallings. What a job by him. Came in here tonight as the points leader, and I'm pretty sure still will leave with that points lead. But we'll see how all that shakes out next week when we come back here for the BRB ButtKicker Cup Series. But Bristol, what a wild conclusion to the mayhem that ensued. It was amazing to see that battle coming right down to the checker flag as Johnny Wood Jr. would pull off that victory. But we're going to go ahead and pull up our race results here tonight and see where your favorite drivers finished out this evening. You can see Johnny Wood Jr. there, of course, by 68 thousandths of a second, taking that victory over Joshua Parent. Dustin Stallings is going to bring it home 3rd. 4th is going to go to Braxton Skinner. Great run for him, like Dustin was saying. Same for Coulter Clark there in the 5th position. Dakota Camper is still bringing it home in 6th after being involved in an incident late there. Adam Buzzio getting that 7th place finish for the 5 machine. 8th is going to go to Sam Dyer after having a quiet night, surviving all the incidents. 9th is going to go to Andrew Rattel, and 10th rounding our top 10 is going to be Jarrett Hughes. As we look through the rest of this order, Robert, definitely some tough nights for drivers as we go farther down. But I tell you what, it was a great finish through the night, and I tell you what, we can't wait to see what actually heads up next few weeks.
Well, that's it. It was a great finish watching them 2 guys come across the start-finish line. He was doing everything he possibly can to get that win, to lock himself into the, playoffs. But unfortunately, Wood's going to take that win here tonight. But yeah, looking through the rest of the field here, you got Southern back here in 12th. Kind of shocking on that. Ronnie there in the 15. He's going to come home 15th. You got Christian there in the 27. He's actually going to come home 16th. You got Jason Bottoms who's having a great run. You got a lot of these guys, Zachary, Eric, Scott Fritz, all these guys here having a great run there, Zach, and then unfortunately got caught up into some other mess or made a mess of themselves, unfortunately. And then you go back through the rest of the field here. You got Carl back here, in 24th. Not a decent run for him. Cody Dorsey was having a great run. Richard just had a rough night tonight here in that 56 machine. He's going to be looking at bouncing back. Stephen Borbell back here in 33rd position. What a tough night for him, too. And then that's about it. And like you said, you got Mason back here in that 78. 250 laps down is something that you don't see too much of in that 78 machine.
Yeah, definitely for sure. Getting those 2 incidents, getting the DQ call coming through, and unfortunately for that 78, as he was battling for that race victory, coming down late between him and Christian Barnes there. So that was definitely wild scenes, and it set up for a wild scene of a finish for sure, as Johnny Wood Jr. will pull off his first victory of the season. It was quite the night we had here, Robert, tonight at Bristol. I tell you, it's hard to expect to stay green here for long. This track is so wild. It is so many cars, so much action going on that one mistake can trickle down backwards, and next thing you know, it's the 10 cars down that actually is involved in the incident. So it is a place that danger is around every single corner, and it definitely showed up tonight for the P.A.L Sudden Service 250. So also got to make sure to give a shout out to P.A.L's if you're out there in Tennessee or Virginia. Make sure you go check out P.A.L's, and you definitely get some great service from them. So yeah, it was a pleasure to call. I know a lot of drivers are going to leave here frustrated. I know as a driver myself how it can be in these situations to sit around and just feel like you're pacing for a long time and you just didn't get the opportunity to race. But that is sometimes how racing plays out. You're never guaranteed green flag runs. You're never guaranteed nothing in this racing world. And sometimes, unfortunately, it's going to end up with you sitting on your hands and you're just going to be like, I don't know what happened tonight, man. So it is a tough scene, but they'll move on to the next week and definitely try to sort it out from there and get themselves in a better position.
That they will here. So with that being said, I also like to give a shout out real quick to ButtKicker. Make sure you check them out. Red Sim Shop is a proud sponsor here. Also, we got Maddox Graphics that are a proud sponsor here at BRB Racing League, and also the food group, Performance Food Group. Make sure you check them out. All that information is down in the link in the description below. Go down there, you can click on a link and go check out their website down below there in our description here under this channel. But with that being said, well, Zach, we're going to call it a night here at Bristol at BRB Racing League. It's been a pleasure to be back in the booth calling these guys. It's been a long time. But, we had some fun here, but that ain't all the action we got going on, ladies and gentlemen. If you go back and watch this, get ready. Tomorrow night, we are going to be at WSSR, and I do believe you're taking on Darlington, correct, Zach?
Yeah, Darlington. If you thought tonight was a tough track, well, another tough track tomorrow night for the guys in the next gen cars there on Wednesday nights at WSSR. Darlington should definitely be an interesting one. New update. We'll see how the tires play out, how the new aero, and see if those guys can keep it out of the wall, because we know every corner it's looming at some point.
Amen on that. But yes, we will be live tomorrow night at WSSR here on FreakyFast Broadcasting for our next broadcast at 8:50. Make sure you tune in and come over and follow and give us a like, give us a follow, say hi to us, as we'll have Sam Dyer and Richard up in the booth calling all the action tomorrow night at Darlington Raceway. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, here at FreakyFast Broadcasting, I want to say thank you. And until tomorrow night, God bless everybody. Love yous all. Peace out.